Chapter 1622. Let's go. Wang Feng stepped onto the flying sword and stood in front, looking into the distance. Mu Rou and Shang Jun turned their heads and looked back. They could only see countless human souls rushing towards the palace on the island. What about them? Mu Rou asked. Them? They were controlled by the fiend celestial. Although I've recovered a little, my soul energy is broken and will disappear soon. Now that they are awake, they should have understood the situation. So, they are taking revenge. Wang Feng replied casually. If you want to, you can go too. Shang Jun stepped onto the flying sword and suddenly asked, Why don't those cultivators fight back? Mu Rou was stunned. After looking for a while, she realized that was indeed the case. Wang Feng did not answer this question. The flying sword turned into a stream of light and flew into the distance. They have already fought back. The flying sword was very fast. To Wang Feng, the methods of immortal cultivators were nothing more than child's play. The 7 Emotions Immortal Soul Record was a real immortal's legacy. It was an immortal manual that specialized in cultivating the soul. There was no doubt about that. The 7 Emotions Immortal Soul Record's main purpose was to cultivate the 7 emotions of a human and integrate them into the soul. Finally, from cultivation to control, one would become an immortal. One's soul would transcend the mortal world and step into the immortal path that was hard to find. Because it was a complete cultivation technique, it was very complete from the beginning to the cultivation of the soul to the nascent soul and ascension. Also, because it was an immortal's legacy, it had a real immortal manual. In other words, it was a few cultivation techniques after becoming an immortal. To the immortal cultivation sex, it could be said to be a supreme treasure. To Wang Feng, it was a grade better than the previous riddle. But that was it. Wang Feng did not know how to cultivate. After reading it, he directly recorded it into the primordial source and used it as the source's resource bank. As a side effect, he could even complete the cultivation techniques after becoming an immortal. Obviously, the creator of the 7 Emotions Immortal Soul Record had not completed it yet. This was because Immortal Yunlai, who created the 7 Emotions Immortal Soul Record, had only just reached that realm when he passed down this cultivation technique. Wang Feng could even make some adjustments to the cultivation techniques before that. This cultivation technique is not bad. After absorbing the primordial source, it should be able to speed up the derivation of the soul cultivation technique. As for the inheritance, when the time comes, I can just find a human soul with good potential and impart it. Wang Fengxin thought. That demonic god Desolate Sea must still be hiding in other places. However, this place had already been destroyed by him. The demonic wills in the other places would most likely leave this place. Wang Feng was not in a hurry. As long as he was still in the soul world, he could not run away. Along the way, Mu Rou and Shang Jun also asked about the situation, and Wang Feng told them the actual situation of Cloud Gathering Island. There was no need to hide such things. However, the two of them were extremely shocked and puzzled by the demon god's appearance in the human soul region outside of the Styx waterfall. As for the actions of the immortal cultivators of Cloud Gathering Island, they were rather silent. Not long after, the small island in the distance was already within reach. Wang Feng closed his eyes and pondered. He could only hear Mu Rou mumbling one name after another. Shang Jun, on the other hand, remained silent, and there was a hint of sorrow in her eyes. Noticing something, Wang Feng slowly opened his eyes. Senior Aotian, what happened? Mu Rou hurriedly asked. Her soft voice startled the two of them. Nothing. Wang Feng looked at the two of them thoughtfully. The flying sword landed in the center of the island. Suddenly, Mu Rou's eyes widened. The flying sword landed in the center of the village. Soon, a clear and tender voice rang out, I'm sorry. Big brother, why are you back so soon? And big sister Mu Rou. A little girl floated in front of Wang Feng and blinked her eyes as she looked at him. The other human souls also floated out of the wooden houses in the village and looked at the three of them strangely. The old man who handed over the carefree soul pearl to Mu Ro stood up and looked at Mu Ro. "Xiao Ro, what's going on?" Mu Ro was still in a daze. She did not seem to have regained her senses. Shang Jun was also in a daze. Wang Feng, on the other hand, looked into the distance. You, Mu Ro stuttered. "Are you all right?" Although she stuttered, there was a hint of disbelief, shock, confusion in her voice. "Us." The old man looked around and said subconsciously. "Of course we're fine. Xiao Ro, why are you asking this question?" Grandpa's soul is muddle-headed." The little girl giggled. Xiao Ro left with Fairy Meng. Fairy Meng must have told Big Sister Xiao Ro. That's why Big Sister Xiao Ro asked this, right? The village chief slapped his forehead and said with a smile, "You're right. I'm muddle-headed. We're fine, don't worry. Xiao Ro, you're really too much. The carefree soul pearl is so precious. How could you just give it to us? A few hours ago, not long after you left, 2 Saint Spellmasters from the southern island came to our island. They wanted us to hand over the 2 carefree soul pearls. They said you stole them from them. If we didn't hand them over, they would refine us into dead souls." The village chief sighed and said, "Although we have never seen these soul pearls before, we know that you risked your life to get them from the soul-cleansing ocean. But what could we do? They were Saint Spellmasters, so we could only hand them over." Just at this time, Fairy Meng came back and beat the 2 Saint Spellmasters back. "I thought about it. Since you went to Cloud Gathering Island, it wasn't easy for the 2 of you to be chosen from our small island. I can't let the 2 of you suffer on the island. Furthermore, Fairy Meng saved us. So I gave the carefree soul pearl to her on behalf of our island. I also told her not to mention this matter so that you wouldn't worry. Fairy Meng is really too much. She still told you about this matter. You made a wasted trip and worried about us." After the village chief finished speaking, he looked at Mu Ro happily. "Xiao Ro, we're fine. You should hurry back to Cloud Gathering Island." "Oh right, why don't I see Fairy Meng? Where is she? Could it be that you've learned the immortal spells of Cloud Gathering Island so quickly?" Mu Ro took a few steps back. She was silent and her eyes were filled with confusion. Shang Jun, who was beside her, was slightly better. Saint Spellmasters. When Wang Feng came, Mu Ro said that the souls of humans came from many different worlds. Those cultivators were just one of them. However, he didn't expect that something like this would happen on this small island. Interestingly, Fairy Meng did find an excuse to leave on the way to Cloud Gathering Island. Wang Feng also noticed it and guessed that it must be because of the carefree soul pearl. However, he didn't expect it to be like this. Looking at Mu Ro and Shang Jun's expressions, it was obvious that after experiencing the incident on Cloud Gathering Island, they were even more confused. She's fine. Since the island is safe, then let's go back first." After a long time, Mu Ro came back to her senses and said in a low voice, "Alright, you guys be careful. When you go back, you must listen to Fairy Meng obediently and learn well. When the time comes, you can kill those soul demons and enter the reincarnation well to reincarnate." The village chief encouraged. The others also encouraged them. "Yes, Sister Xiao Ro. On our island, even if only you and Sister June can enter the reincarnation well to reincarnate, it will still be great." The little girl blinked her big innocent eyes. "After so many years, only you guys were chosen by Cloud Gathering Island. It was Fairy Meng who took you in." Mu Ro and Shang Jun didn't know what to say. They seemed to be choking on something and could only nod. Then, they turned around and left on their flying swords with Wang Feng. On the flying swords, Mu Ro and Shang Jun thought for a moment. Then, they looked at each other and nodded. Together, they sang the ancient and heavy song that Wang Feng heard when he first came to the small island. Chapter 1623. The sky was clear and white clouds rose along with the waterfall of the Styx River. The pearl-like islands were in Wang Feng's line of sight. He could see fluorescent human souls floating on the islands. Occasionally, the fierce shadows of demonic souls would sweep past. Relatively speaking, it was relatively calm. There was a strong wind in the air, but Wang Feng, who was in soul form, couldn't feel any wind. The lingering sound of the requiem gradually dissipated in Mu Rou and Shang Jun. The quiet atmosphere surrounded the three of them again. Wang Feng closed his eyes and pondered. On the southern islands, the human souls here looked very different from Mu Rou and Shang Jun. There were obvious differences in skin color, hair, and facial features. Obviously, they were humans from another world. Now that the demon god of Huang Hai had been alarmed, Wang Feng didn't have to worry about it. He directly brought the two of them and flew across the southern island. The demonic consciousness of the demon god of Huang Hai was scattered in different places in the human territory, absorbing human souls. The demonic consciousness of Cloud Gathering Island was killed by his act. The other demonic consciousnesses would definitely leave their original positions. They would flee elsewhere or join forces. They wouldn't sit still and wait for death. The scattered demonic consciousnesses were nourishment for Wang Feng's Pangu Axe martial soul. The southern islands are protected by the holy spellcasters. They are the same as immortal cultivators. They have the power to fight against demonic souls. Mu Rou broke the silence and said, "The humans here are not from Blue Planet. I heard that they are from a continent called Divine Grace. Over there, they worshipped many powerful gods. Their powers are also passed down from the god." Gods? Wang Feng thought. This wasn't the kind of game the gods in the god realm like to play. This divine grace should be a plane controlled by the Douluo god realm. Before the war of the gods between the dark demon realm and the god realm, the dark demon realm had invaded many lower planes of the god realm. The Douluo continent was a good example. However, the level of the Douluo continent had been raised a lot at that time. The group of titled Douluo was far stronger than the group from 10,000 years ago. Those soul demons did not have much of an advantage, and he was also there. Therefore, the Douluo continent wasn't invaded by the dark demon realm. When I entered the soul-cleansing ocean, I wasn't alone. I was accompanied by hundreds and thousands of brave souls, including the warriors on their side. Mu Rou recalled, "But before me I was the only one who came out alive. It was possible that some of their warriors had also escaped from the soul-cleansing ocean. Otherwise, they wouldn't know that I obtained the carefree soul pearl." Wang Feng nodded slightly and tapped the space between their eyebrows. He implanted the 7 emotions immortal soul record into the depths of their souls. This technique is the Tao legacy of Cloud Gathering Island, the 7 emotions immortal soul record. This technique was extremely special. If one cultivated it to the Mahayana stage, they would be able to retain this technique even if they were reincarnated. That is to say, after you reincarnate, you can also cultivate this method and inherit the orthodoxy. If you don't understand, this immortal record already has my detailed note. There's no need to ask me. After saying that, Wang Feng looked straight ahead. Mu Rou and Shang Jun had different expressions on their faces. Mu Rou was silent and resistant. Shang Jun, on the other hand, was calm with some joy. "All right." The two of them replied in unison. After saying that, they planned to start cultivating. The spiritual energy in this place is thin and the efficiency of cultivation is extremely low. There's no need to cultivate so quickly. Comprehend this immortal record more. This technique focuses on comprehension. Wang Feng stopped the two of them. "Moreover, we should be meeting them soon." "Them? Who?" Mu Rou and Shang Jun were puzzled. "Saint spellcasters." Wang Feng pointed ahead. The two of them looked over and saw that in the distant sky, there were indeed small dots of light flying over from afar. Their hearts tightened, but they thought of something and heaved a sigh of relief. After a while, a majestic island slowly appeared in front of them. As the distance increased, the dots of light in front of them slowly turned into rows of human souls. Countless human souls flew out from below from all directions. At the same time, 6 rays of light lit up from 6 positions with the majestic island as the center. It was like a large array. It enveloped the entire area. Wang Feng glanced at it and was instantly astonished. With his experience, he could tell at a glance that this was a trap array that had been set up beforehand. The 6 corners of the formation contained a tremendous amount of soul energy. It should be a treasure similar to the carefree soul bead that was used as the energy output. The interior of the array was isolated from the outside, and the light screen that rose up could prevent any soul from entering or leaving. Since it had been set up beforehand, it meant that these saint spellcasters knew who they would be facing. It should be the cultivators of Cloudgather Island. From the row of saint spellcasters in front, an old man who looked the oldest slowly walked out. He looked the oldest, but his soul was extremely solid, not much different from Meng Yuanqing's. "My name is Fane. The 3 of you have come to the territory of us saint spellcasters. Is there something you need?" The old man held a soul staff in his hand. There was a carefree soul pearl embedded in the staff. It was slightly larger than the one Mu Rou had obtained. Wang Feng glanced around and said bluntly, "Where is the demonic will of the demonic god?" Fane's expression changed. Not only him, but the other saint spellcasters' expressions also changed. "If you fled, where did you flee to? What have you done all these years? Tell me one by one, and I won't make things difficult for you," Wang Feng said. After saying this, he pointed at the distant location of Cloudgather Island. "Cloudgather Island is already gone." This last sentence sounded like a threat, and it caused Fane's eyelids to twitch. "Nonsense. We don't know anything." Fane fiercely stamped the staff in his hand, and a powerful wave of spiritual energy surged out in all directions. On the flying sword, Mu Rou and Shang Jun were sent flying by this storm of energy. Only when the flying sword exerted a suction force did they manage to stabilize themselves. Without another word, Wang Feng put his middle finger and index finger together and pointed at the sky. In an instant, a beam of spiritual light shot out from the tips of his 2 fingers toward the array in the sky. Kacha! Cracks crawled all over the surrounding light screen, and it suddenly shattered. "Don't make me say it a second time." Wang Feng put his 2 fingers together and pointed at Fane. He was using a high-grade spiritual technique from the 7 Emotions Immortal Soul Record, soul-suppressing finger. The effect was barely passable. After saying this, Wang Feng seemed to have thought of something, and he suddenly said, "I forgot that you humans believed in gods when you were alive. Unfortunately, the dark demon world destroyed everything, and it also destroyed your belief. So, could it be that you changed your belief to the demonic god after becoming souls?" Fane took 2 steps back. You, he pointed at Wang Feng and stuttered, unable to say anything. Then his voice suddenly became louder, and he said angrily, "What does it have to do with you? Who exactly are you?" After saying this, he was aggressive, and he didn't look like he was going to back down. The other saint spellcasters also stood neatly in midair, and they didn't retreat at all. Chapter 1624. What did that demon god say to you? Wang Feng asked. Did he leave already? He didn't just leave. Let me guess. Wang Feng pondered. Could it be that he told you to stop me and promised that if you could stop me, he would make you his true followers? That he would bestow you with greater power? How childish. Wang Feng shook his head. Don't you know your strength? What's the difference between you and the demon god? Do you think he would like you? Even the immortal cultivators of Cloudgather Island can only be reduced to his tools. What do you count for? After saying that, Wang Feng chopped down with his axe without hesitation. The axe light pierced through the clouds. Not only did it scatter the formation of the saints, it also split the island below into two. It was like opening a Pandora's box. After the majestic island was split open, an enormous amount of soul energy surged out from within. It looked much larger than Cloud Gathering Island. This is probably the soul energy of over 1 million people refined and stored inside. Wang Feng looked at these saint spell masters with admiration. They were even more ruthless than those cultivators. They had collected so many human souls. Behind him, Mu Rou and Shang Jun still didn't understand where the enormous amount of soul energy came from. They were confused. "Are you sure you still want to stop me?" Wang Feng smiled. "So stupid." "No, I can't blame you for being stupid. You've already turned into souls and thirsted for power. Entering the reincarnation well is your last hope. As long as the demon god Huang Hai takes advantage of this, he can toy with you however he wants." Fane looked at the island below with a pale face. He knelt on the ground with a dispirited expression. He was the most prestigious and powerful saint among these saints. He was loved and respected by countless people on the continent. It was the same in his previous life. Just like those cultivators on Cloud Gathering Island, the demon god Huang Hai had chosen him and made him and the other saints collect human souls and offer them as sacrifices to the demon god Huang Hai. Otherwise, he would kill their entire clan. It was a one-sided threat. He wouldn't give them any power. However, the prerequisite was that he could bring them into the reincarnation well to be reincarnated. This was the only thing that didn't make them feel completely hopeless. Instead, they carried hope and believed that this was for the good of their people, so they made the same choice as Cloud Gathering Island. The demonic god Huang Hai is simply a freeloader. Apart from giving them some empty promises, he didn't even bestow any power to these human souls. He's just toying with them. However, he has no other choice. Wang Fengxin pondered in his heart. Such a person must be killed. He did not believe that this bullshit godfiend would really lead human souls into the reincarnation sea for reincarnation. He just wanted to give Fane, Meng Yuanqing, and the other experts a sliver of hope that they wouldn't go berserk and resist. He had a firm grasp of the situation. After a long while, Fane slowly took out a box and said in a low voice, "That demon god has left. He left long ago. However, he told us that as long as we stopped the human souls that came here to find him, he would bestow us with power and take us out of this place to enter the reincarnation well to be reincarnated. It's just as you said." "What about this box?" Wang Feng asked. "There's a restriction set up by the demonic god below our island." Fane pointed down and said, "That demonic god imprisoned hundreds of thousands of demonic souls in the restriction. The key to the restriction is this box. Once we leave this box, the restriction will automatically open. Tens of thousands of demonic souls are enough to destroy this place. He told us to open this box when necessary. It's used to stop the human souls that came to find him." "So, what do you plan to do?" Wang Feng watched with interest. Fane trembled all over. He couldn't make a choice. "I've made my choice." Wang Feng clenched his fist. His eyes flickered with the divine light of primordial origin. He began to read and deduce everything before him. Then, Wang Feng looked down and narrowed his eyes slightly. This demonic god Huang Hai was very scheming. How could there only be tens of thousands of demonic souls? There were probably hundreds of thousands of soul demons. Even if Wang Feng used Pangu Axe, he wouldn't be able to kill them all in a short time. After all, Pangu Axe hadn't been fully repaired yet. His soul was also weak enough. He didn't have the ability to deal with large groups of soul demons. No matter how powerful the axe was, even if it killed tens of thousands of soul demons, the demonic souls would instantly flee. At that time, the entire human territory would be in danger. Furthermore, it was unlikely that he could kill so many soul demons with a single axe. Although Pangu Axe was powerful, it consumed a lot of energy and its range was limited. If it was just a single soul demon, even if it was a demonic god's demonic will, he could kill it with a single axe. But if there were too many of them, it would be troublesome. Once these demonic souls flew out, they would definitely flee and slaughter the surrounding humans. The demonic god Huang Hai was prepared. He must have come to the world of human souls outside the Nether River waterfall for something extremely important. He definitely wouldn't come alone. I can't open the restriction below for now, Wang Feng muttered. Even if he used all his strength, he could kill 99% of them in a short time. If he missed a few hundred, even a few dozen, it would be extremely dangerous for the entire human territory. Because the demonic souls here were very powerful. Therefore, once he learned of this situation, he absolutely couldn't open the restriction. The best choice was to wait until the demonic souls were stronger before dealing with them. There are more than 10,000 demonic souls below, said Wang Feng. There are at least a few 100,000 demonic souls. Once they are released, he won't be able to bring you to the well of reincarnation. You will die here. A few 100,000 demonic souls? Fane was stunned. How can there be so many? Yes, how can there be so many? Wang Feng returned the box to him and continued. Where did the demonic god go? West, said Fane. West. Wang Feng glanced over. Interesting. The demonic god Huang Hai didn't escape towards the soul-cleansing sea on the other side of the Nether River. Instead, he went in the opposite direction, continuing to escape into the human territory. This didn't make sense. There must be something fishy going on. He had to chase after him and take a look. Wang Feng looked at Fane. He wasn't lying. If he was lying, he could tell at a glance. No, more accurately, he was only saying what he saw. With this in mind, Wang Feng quickly headed west. As for the massive amount of soul energy that seeped out from the island, Wang Feng wasn't in the mood to absorb it. After all, this was soul energy refined from human souls. He didn't know what he had absorbed on Cloud Gathering Island. As for this, he couldn't be bothered to absorb it. It was a waste of time. But however, not long after flying out, Wang Feng paused slightly. He used the primordial origins to deduce what he had seen and heard. Suddenly, a possibility surfaced in his mind. I see. Not long after Wang Feng left, Fane was somewhat dispirited and looked into the distance in a daze. However, he didn't feel much joy at surviving a calamity. Down there, it's a ticking time bomb after all. Fane held the box tightly, afraid of making a mistake. After a while, the box suddenly trembled. A demonic figure suddenly flew out from within and rose in spirals. You didn't leave? Fane looked at the demonic figure and was instantly stunned. The other sacred Dharma casters were also pale. Idiot! The demonic god Huang Hai's expression was indifferent. He couldn't be bothered to say another word to the latter. If he left like this, that fellow would catch up to him sooner or later. That fellow's axe could cut through the spatial restraints of the soul world and kill the demonic consciousness. There was no way he could escape. It was ridiculous. He could only use a trick to force the other party away. No matter how smart that fellow was, he wouldn't have thought that he hadn't left at all. However, at this moment, a soul voice slowly sounded. Chapter 1625. Huang Hai. The soul's voice came from afar. The demon god Huang Hai's figure froze, and he looked into the distance. He saw that the human soul was looking at him with a smile from afar. He didn't leave? The demon god Huang Hai was shocked. Did he pretend to leave? Nice trick. Wang Feng suddenly appeared above the island, as if he had teleported. You're still trying to trick me. You know I won't open the seal below, so you're sure I'll leave. Wang Feng looked at the demon god Huang Hai with a smile. He was sure that there was something wrong with the demon god Huang Hai's strange actions. The demon god's seal below was real, at least in Wang Feng's eyes. The demon god Huang Hai told Fane to expose this, and then diverted his attention. Then, the demon god Huang Hai fled in the opposite direction so that Wang Feng would be suspicious. Wang Feng wouldn't stay here for long and would immediately chase after the demon god Huang Hai. It had to be said that Wang Feng did think so. He didn't find any obvious loopholes, but some parts didn't make sense. However, Wang Feng didn't expect that the demon god Huang Hai didn't leave at all. Then, he used the primordial origins to deduce this and found this possibility. Wang Feng returned. He didn't expect to see the demon god Huang Hai's demon will. This demon will was slightly weaker than the one on Cloud Gathering Island, but it wasn't much different. "Tell me, how do you want to die?" Wang Feng's axe appeared in his hand and he gently slapped his palm. The demon god Huang Hai's expression was ferocious, and he looked at Wang Feng unwillingly. Impossible, how on earth did he find out? Could it be that he had long seen through it and everything just now was just an act? The demon god Huang Hai looked at the human coldly. He was already difficult to deal with in the dark demon world. He didn't expect him to be so difficult after death. "Actually, I'm very curious." Wang Feng suddenly changed his tone and said, "After I killed your demon will on Cloud Gathering Island, your demon will should have fled. Logically speaking, your other demon will should have fled immediately. However, you're playing this game of darkness under the light. It's completely meaningless. If your demon will had fled, I might not have been able to catch up to you. But you took such a risk? Don't tell me it's just to play tricks?" Wang Feng looked around, his gaze landing on Fane. "Can it be that you have a reason why you must stay behind? Also, did you set up the Fiend Celestial Restriction Array in advance?" On this trip, what puzzled Wang Feng the most was the demonic god restriction below. Hundreds of thousands of demonic souls were sealed beneath the island by demon god Desolate Sea. If Wang Feng had not used the Pangu axe to split open the island, he might not have been able to see it. The devilish souls in the Nether River wouldn't come to areas outside of the Nether River. This had to have been set up by Desolate Sea's Fiend Celestial. What was demon god Huang Hai trying to do? With so many doubts, Wang Feng was in no hurry to make a move. He vaguely felt as if he had fallen into a spider web. "Take a guess." Demon god Huang Hai let out a strange laugh. "Since you've seen through me, I can't be bothered to escape. That axe of yours is very special. Even with your weak soul, you were able to kill my devil will. This means that the weapon itself contains great power. Furthermore, once the target is locked on, the soul won't be able to escape. No matter how far it is, the target will be able to hit it. Truly impressive." Demon god Huang Hai let out a final sigh that sounded like a sarcastic remark. Demonic souls in soul form naturally couldn't be compared to the tenebrous fiend world in the real world, where they could use tenebrous fiend powers. From demon god Huang Hai's words, it seemed as though he had no intention of resisting. Instead, it was this that left Wang Fengxin even more puzzled. Wang Feng frowned slightly as he looked at the Fiend Celestial Restriction array beneath the island. Countless demonic souls were surging in the sea, letting out silent roars as though they were devils that had been suppressed in the sea. It didn't seem like it was fake. "You don't plan on taking action?" Demon god Huang Hai said slowly. "I didn't even threaten you with opening the Fiend Celestial Restriction. Why? Are you cowering now? That's because you are just a devil will. You can't open it." Wang Feng pointed at demon god Huang Hai. "If I didn't come with my true body, do you really think I would believe that a mere box can be opened?" The Fiend Celestial Restriction array was definitely another trap. Wang Feng didn't believe that a Fiend Celestial would only predict that he would choose to leave. He didn't predict that Wang Feng would open the Fiend Celestial Restriction array. Demon god Huang Hai must have predicted this as well. Then, there must be a trap in the Fiend Celestial Restriction array. If he had used the Pangu axe to hack it open, who knew what kind of trap he would have encountered? Thinking of this, Wang Feng suddenly had an idea as though he had thought of something. At this moment, demon god Huang Hai spoke again. "If that's the case, why don't you take action? Are you still afraid of something?" Wang Feng suddenly laughed. I'm not afraid. You are the one who is afraid. Wang Feng put away the pangu axe and stared at the devil will. He suddenly laughed. What a great trick! What do you mean? Demon god Huang Hai looked at Wang Feng. Wang Feng sneered at the bottom. Huang Hai, you didn't set up the fiend's celestial restriction array below, right? Although you have the ability to do so, I really can't figure out why you spent so much effort to seal hundreds of thousands of soul demons here. Until I discovered a problem. These demonic souls, they were all your former subordinates, right? They were the elite soul demons who died in the Black Tide. With your character, why would you do such a stupid thing? Ha ha. I understand now. Wang Feng laughed. Demon god Huang Hai looked at Wang Feng coldly. Huang Hai, if I'm not wrong, the one who sealed these soul demons is not you, but Wang Feng paused and slowly uttered a few words. Yama Lord. Hearing these two words, demon god Huang Hai's expression changed immediately, no matter how fast he recovered. Even if he recovered quickly, the truth had been exposed. Even you, Wang Feng pointed at Huang Hai's devil will and sneered. Yama Lord sealed you in this place. You didn't come here by yourself. Those cultivators on Cloud Gathering Island and these Saint Dharma casters were all deceived by you. Yama Lord sealed you in this place long before the humans were driven out of the Nether River waterfall. He even divided your devil will into several pieces and sealed them in different places. When I was on Cloud Gathering Island, I didn't think too much about it and split the cauldron open with my axe. I released you in advance. You must be ecstatic at that time. But you chose to run away at the first moment. That's what puzzles me the most. At this point, Wang Fengxin's mind was clear. After what happened on Cloud Gathering Island, he had fallen into a strange circle of thinking. He subconsciously thought that Meng Yuanqing and the others were telling the truth because they were not lying. But the truth was, Meng Yuanqing and the others had no idea that Huang Hai had been sealed here for a long time. With the demon god's experience and cunning, even if he was sealed, he must have some means to escape. The difference in strength between Meng Yuanqing and the other cultivators was too great. They did not know enough and could not see through it. Moreover, Wang Feng was sure that the sealed demon god Huang Hai did not have any means to destroy so many human souls. He could only use some small tricks that the cultivators and Saint Dharma casters had never seen before to intimidate them. Chapter 1626. If I'm not mistaken. Wang Feng pointed at the demon god restriction below. Once I attack your demon will, the restriction below will loosen, and hundreds of thousands of demon souls will fly out. I'll be too tired to deal with them, and the souls of all humans in this region will be in great danger. Large numbers of people will die, and the other powerful beings under your control will quickly collect these dead souls and refine them into pure soul energy. There's only one reason why you need these souls, and that's to activate that demon chi. You can't break Yama's seal by yourself, but that demon chi can break Yama's seal and fuse your other demon wills into a true soul. Although two of them are missing, it's enough for you to leave this place. The demon god of desolation's expression was extremely ugly. He couldn't hold it in anymore. He didn't expect this guy to figure everything out so quickly. Yama told you? The demon god of desolation's voice was like a volcano about to erupt, brewing endless violence. What do you think? Wang Feng said indifferently. He was shocked. If he wasn't wrong, this was most likely the case. The demon god of desolation stole the demon chi and shed his demon body. He wanted to reincarnate in the form of a demon soul and escape this disaster. However, Yama was already here. With Yama's wisdom as a peerless soul demon in Dark Demon Realm, he should have figured out the demon god of desolation's little scheme. He could even deduce what happened above ground. And Wang Feng was sure that the demon god of desolation came to this world to look for the well of reincarnation after the Black Tide. This guy was sealed by Yama outside the Styx waterfall. The soul energy here was extremely weak, and his demon soul was divided into so many parts that there was no chance for him to recover. It was simply torture. But he didn't expect the human soul to be driven here, which gave the demon god of desolation an opportunity. Haha! A peerless soul demon in dark demon realm actually colluded with a human. How lamentable! The demon god of desolation laughed wildly. Human, if I'm not wrong, you should be a god from the god realm, right? You disguised yourself as demon god and came to dark demon realm to find the path ahead. The strongest in the god realm is only a god king. You don't even see a universe-level life form. Why don't we do this instead? However, she couldn't find the devil chi. I'll return the devil chi to you, and I don't want you to break these seals. How about you just pretend that nothing happened? Huang Hai's tone was unprecedentedly serious. Do you know what that fiendish aura is? It contained a wisp of the universe's will. As long as you obtain this wisp of demonic chi, you won't disappear even if you reincarnate. As long as you can comprehend this wisp of universe will, you can become a universe-level life form. I've reached a level I've never reached before. To you, any transcendent being in a great world can be destroyed with a flick of your finger. You're right. I absorbed the soul energy of humans because comprehending the will of the universe requires a large amount of soul energy. I can't sacrifice myself to comprehend it. Naturally, I can only absorb the souls of these humans, but the speed is too slow. His voice was seductive. The will of the universe. This was the first time Wang Feng had heard of this term, although he didn't know anything. However, Wang Feng inexplicably recalled the battle with Mo Tiance and the crushing will of the galaxy. It was a power that surpassed the origin. It was as if it represented a supreme will that could destroy everything in the opponent's body in an instant. Strength, faith, life, divine power, origin, etc. That was a kind of supreme power. At least, it was so for a life form at his level. Wang Feng squinted his eyes and looked at Huang Hai. He looked very sincere, like a thief who was caught by law enforcers and wanted to plead guilty so that he wouldn't have to spend a few days in jail. But that's not right, said Wang Feng after some thought. What's not right? First of all, this fiendish aura was originally mine, said Wang Feng with a serious expression. This is called returning it to its rightful owner. What right do you have to negotiate? Then, consider it as me keeping it for you for a while, replied Huang Hai. Look, it's just like how I picked up something among you humans and helped you keep it safe for a while. When I return it to you, don't you have to express your gratitude? Therefore, you can pretend that you don't know anything about the other fiendish intents of mine. That makes sense. Wang Feng pondered. However, your soul energy is very tempting. That's not right, said Huang Hai anxiously. I helped you keep this fiendish aura. Now that I'm giving it to you, you want to deal with me? Are you humans so immoral? Wang Feng smiled and said, How about this? I'll help you remove the other seals. What do you think? Remove the seals? Huang Hai was stunned for a moment. He probably didn't expect Wang Feng to say that. Isn't that good? Asked Wang Feng. Of course, it's good. Huang Hai looked at Wang Feng with uncertainty. The next moment, Pangu axe appeared in Wang Feng's hand and he swung it forward. The peerless axe light carried an aura that could cut through everything as it slashed toward Huang Hai's fiendish figure. Seeing this, Huang Hai smiled. Human, I knew you wouldn't let me go. Although you can kill this fiendish intent of mine, you'll definitely remove the seal below. Although I can't remove the seal, I've fused my fiendish intent with the seal. You've killed this fiendish intent of mine. When the hundreds of thousands of soul demons appear, the souls of all humans in this place will die. You'll only benefit me in the end. Wang Feng didn't say anything else. The axe light carried an indomitable aura as it slashed through Huang Hai's fiendish figure. An enormous amount of soul energy burst out and shrouded the world. At the same time, Huang Hai's fiendish figure disappeared. Countless cracks appeared on the demonic god restriction below and extended to the entire sea. Rumble! The sea began to tremble. The roars of the soul demons, which were originally silent, began to rise. Benefit you? Wang Feng smiled slowly. If it was just a moment ago, I might have been fooled by you. But it's different now. Retrieve. Wang Feng placed Pangu Ak's martial soul in the air. The primordial origin frantically absorbed the soul energy of Huang Hai's fiendish intent to repair Pangu Ak. The enormous amount of energy was instantly absorbed by the primordial origin. The primordial origin frantically deduced and repaired Pangu Ak. When the repair progress was about 10%, the soul energy was depleted. Although the Pangu Ak's martial soul was still a remnant soul, it emitted an unprecedented radiance. At this stage, Wang Feng knew that Pangu Ak would have some special abilities. Chapter 1627. The demonic souls that rose from the surface of the sea stirred up huge waves. Like sand in a funnel, they kept coming out from below. The Pangu Ak's martial soul in midair slowly recovered from its original simple shadow as the primordial origin slowly deduced and filled in the gap. It slowly solidified and returned to its original appearance. It was a supreme sacred artifact that symbolized the creation of the chaotic universe. As long as there was a trace of its true soul, it had a chance to recover completely. Now, as Wang Feng slowly recovered and filled in the gaps, it finally revealed some of its true power. Wang Feng stared intently. No matter how many demonic souls surged out from below, they couldn't make him look away. The humming Pangu axe finally changed. The wide back of the axe turned into a solid shadow as soul energy was continuously injected into it. After changing in the void, what finally appeared in his vision was an ancient bell. The surface of the bell was engraved with the sun, moon, and stars. It symbolized the changes in time and space. The ancient bell that was like a mountain emitted a chaotic light that suppressed the world. After 5 different changes, it illuminated everything in the world. This is the Chaos Bell? Wang Feng's eyes narrowed. This bell didn't have the aura of the Pangu axe that could split heaven and earth. However, it had a supreme sacred might that could suppress the world. There were also powerful time and space laws imprinted on it. Inside the bell, there were countless living races engraved. It was as if all of them were engraved on it. From the dragons, phoenixes, and so on that Wang Feng was more familiar with, there were countless races that he couldn't recognize. Every one of them had the power to capture the heavens and earth, and the power to split the moon. When he opened his eyes, there was a brilliant sacred might that was like billions of living beings roaring and shouting. It washed over from all directions, making his soul tremble. Dong! The ancient bell trembled. In an instant, the sun, moon, and stars on the surface moved with the sound of the bell. The roars of thousands of races came from inside the bell. The sound of the bell reverberated, and an ancient divine might was revealed in the world at this moment. Countless demonic souls that had escaped from the seal suddenly froze on the spot. Their souls were shocked by the sound of the bell, and their minds were frightened by the roars of thousands of races. The soul world is different from the real world. The rules are completely different. It might not even be in the same spatial dimension as the real universe. I didn't expect this ancient bell to be so powerful and able to unleash such strength. Wang Feng was secretly shocked. This place was different from the Dark Devil world. Previously, he had thought that this belonged to the Dark Devil world. But after arriving, he realized that this place was very different from the Dark Devil world. Firstly, the rules of heaven and earth were completely different. The Nether River waterfall hung upside down in the clouds, separating the two places. There was soul energy in the air, and there was no day or night here. In other words, there was the flow of time in this place, but there was no change in time. There was only soul energy in the space and nothing else. The vegetation, the island, the land, and so on were all made up of soul energy. In other words, if a real human came here, they wouldn't even last a second before dying. Without any energy, it meant that he couldn't even use his source energy. Wang Feng used the Grand Mist origin to deduce a suitable soul cultivation method system for himself, which required a large amount of God power. Therefore, he could only use the origin exchange art to convert the water in the Nether River into pure energy. Only by injecting it into the primordial chaos source could he activate it. As for the others, he could only use spiritual techniques, such as the chaotic 8-note. If he didn't learn such techniques, his soul wouldn't even have the slightest bit of combat power. For example, although the souls of demon god Huang Hai and the others were powerful, their source energy was useless. Against Wang Feng's Pengu Axe martial soul, their chances of winning were not high. Unless, of course, his origin was related to his soul and mind. For example, Yama couldn't kill demon god Huang Hai and so many soul demons. If they were in the dark devil world, Wang Feng estimated that Yama could kill them in a snap of his fingers. But he couldn't do it here. Therefore, in this soul world, this ancient bell could intimidate these soul demons with just a ring. It was really not simple. Moreover, this is not just intimidating, but imprisoning. Wang Feng felt that this huge bell was slightly stronger than the 7 forms that the chaotic green lotus had evolved into. However, compared to the current situation, the strength of the chaotic green lotus was different. Are the tens of thousands of lives engraved in the ancient bell the billions of lives in the primitive world? Then this bell has a saying. Wang Feng carefully sized up the ancient bell for a while. He flew to the top of the bell and could only feel a majestic aura of blood essence coming from inside. Each of the auras of blood essence was not inferior to the aura of life emitted by the demon god's body. After thinking for a few seconds, Wang Feng gently touched the bell with his palm. With his weak soul, he was not affected by this ancient bell at all. Instead, he felt that he could control the hundreds of thousands of soul demons below through this bell. However, this feeling disappeared in a flash. Wang Feng only felt a wave of weakness coming from the depths of his soul. The ancient bell began to appear and disappear. Wang Feng didn't even carefully look at every inch of the bell and the primitive world creatures engraved in it. He felt that this ancient bell might disappear. After pondering for a while, Wang Feng slapped the ancient bell. Clang! The ancient bell rang again through the sky. This time, the soul demons below were quickly shaken into the sea below as if time was flowing backward. Then, the ancient bell shot out a ray of divine light and directly landed in the sea below. In a moment, they were all sealed again. At the same time, the ancient bell gradually disappeared. It reappeared in the form of the Pengu Axe martial soul and returned to Wang Feng's palm. It already has some form. Wang Feng looked at the Pengu axe in his hand and suddenly felt a little heavy on his shoulders. That ancient bell was not solid yet. It might just be the beginning of its form. However, there was no doubt that it was powerful. Moreover, the current Pengu axe martial soul was different from the chaotic green lotus when it was still a Doulu. The various forms' abilities were only revealed in the form of soul skills. At this moment, the Pengu Axe martial soul absorbed soul energy through the primordial origin. After being repaired, the form it transformed into was directly related to the highest level of law origin power. Thinking of this, Wang Fengxin's heart was surging. This was not because the chaotic green lotus was weak. In fact, the chaotic green lotus was also incomplete at that time. However, as Wang Feng cultivated, it slowly revealed its various forms. However, due to the level of power in the Douluo world, even if the chaotic green lotus had evolved into 7 forms, it could only exchange blows with a god king. In fact, the chaotic green lotus only needed to undergo a baptism of a higher level of energy to become a real chaotic green lotus and possess its true power. It was just that he didn't have the chance to do so now. The chaotic green lotus martial soul was still in his body martial soul. His soul was here. Although his body would not disappear, it would fall into an eternal slumber. Chapter 16:28. Until his soul was born and re-entered his main body, or was reborn in the universe with a new body, he could use the one spirit into three pure ones to sense and control his main body. This would be very fast. He had only been here for a few days, but he had already completed 1/10 of the cultivation of the Pangu Axe martial soul. As hundreds of thousands of soul demons were sealed, the world fell silent again. To be precise, this time, they were suppressed and sealed by the Bell of Chaos. It was not the Yama Lord's seal. He had no time to deal with these soul demons now. The demon god of Huanghai was more important. The Yama Lord had sealed the demon god of Huanghai in various places. This was a great thing for Wang Feng. Moreover, they were sealed separately. This meant that Wang Feng could slowly eliminate them without any effort and turn them into nourishment for the Pangu Axe. This caused Wang Feng to have a vague feeling, is the Yama Lord helping me? Wang Fengxin couldn't help but have this thought. But after thinking about it, he felt that it was unlikely. How could the Yama Lord know that he would come here in advance? Speaking of which, when he entered the dark demon world as demon god Dai, he didn't even see the Yama Lord. Keeping this thought for the time being, Wang Feng looked around and could see some of the saint spell masters kneeling below, trembling. They didn't even dare to raise their heads. The pressure of the Bell of Chaos is too strong. These souls can't withstand it at all. Their souls will scatter just by looking at it. Wang Feng shook his head. Only the soul demons were fine. However, the Pangu Axe martial soul had only been restored by 10%, and the pressure of the Bell of Chaos had not reached its peak. Otherwise, the two bell rings just now should have directly shaken those demon souls into soul energy and dissipated. Wang Feng looked around and flew back to the flying sword in the distance. He didn't come alone just now. At this moment, Mu Rou and Shang Jun were still on the flying sword. With the experience just now, Wang Feng didn't plan to bring them with him. He had brought them with him because of the cloud-gathering island. Now, it seemed that the demon god of Huanghai was sealed in this area. This meant that the human soul area of cloud-gathering island was very safe. "Senior, why did you go back just now?" Mu Rou asked when she saw Wang Feng return. Wang Feng waved his hand and said, "That demon god is quite cunning. He didn't leave. However, I plan to leave the two of you here." Hearing this, the two of them were slightly stunned. Hundreds of thousands of demonic souls have been sealed beneath the sea. The two of you stay here and cultivate. If you want to fight your way into the soul-cleansing sea and the reincarnation well, these hundreds of thousands of demonic souls will be your test. Wang Feng pointed into the distance. If you want to lead more human souls into the reincarnation well, then you have to work even harder. Humans were all part of the same race, and so were these sacred Dharma cultivators. They were the same as the immortal cultivators of Cloud-Gathering Island. How you deal with it is up to you. I have more important things to do. It's not appropriate to bring the two of you. Originally, he had followed Mu Rou to this area of human souls just to take a look at the situation. He didn't expect to find so many surprises. Now that he had a general idea of the situation, all he needed to do was to quickly go to the human territories and search for the demonic will of the Desolate Sea Demon God. Furthermore, Demon God Desolate Sea was in a sealed state, so it was very easy. Wang Feng did not have the time to slowly linger in this place. He would accompany Mu Rou and the other human souls to slowly cultivate. As long as he deduced a soul cultivation technique, he would be able to cultivate 1,000 miles in a single step. If the primordial chaos origins deduced a soul cultivation technique that belonged to him, it would definitely have no bottlenecks, and would be most suitable for him. It would be the fastest and most perfect. and Wang Feng had left behind the 7 emotions immortal soul record, which had been improved and annotated by the primordial chaos origins. It was enough for these human souls to cultivate. Senior, thank you for teaching us. Shang Jun was the first to regain her senses. She knelt down and said respectfully, "If we human souls can be reincarnated in the future, we will definitely pay tribute to Senior's soul in our next life." Wang Feng smiled. In the next life, there would be no memories of the next life. Unless you were extremely talented and cultivated the 7 emotions immortal soul record to the highest level, then entered the reincarnation well to be reincarnated. Then, you would be able to retain some of your memories and start all over again. But that kind of talent was not something that ordinary people could have. Wang Feng estimated that among these human souls, there might only be 1 or 2 in 100 million. But for Mu Rou and Shang Jun, their talents weren't high. They could only be considered above average. They couldn't cultivate to the highest level of the 7 emotions immortal soul record, unless they used cheat. But in this world, what kind of cheats could be used? Then do your best. If you have the chance to meet each other in your reincarnation, I, Wang Outyen, will make an exception and accept you as my disciples. Wang Feng encouraged the 2 of them. It was fate that the 2 of them were able to meet him. Mu Rou and Shang Jun nodded heavily. Wang Feng was about to leave when he suddenly remembered something. He looked at Mu Rou and asked, "Oh, right? Mu Rou, I remember you said you came from the blue planet. Do you know the Blazing Sun Heavenly Court?" Blazing Sun Heavenly Court. Senior, how did you know? Mu Rou looked at Wang Feng in surprise. Senior, didn't you come from another planet? You know about it? Wang Feng asked curiously. Of course. Mu Rou nodded. The Blazing Sun Heavenly Court is an extremely powerful force in the universe called the Blazing Sun Heavenly Path. When the Dark Demon World invaded the Blue Planet, the Blazing Sun Heavenly Path appeared to help the Blue Planet. Also, the Angel Army from another overlord of the universe, the Angel Nebula, came to our Earth. I remember it should be called the Galactic War. With the Blue Planet as the center, the Galactic War broke out. Wang Feng nodded. He didn't know about these things. It should be something that happened on the Cerulean planet after he killed the Imperial Devil God. Speaking of which, there was an extremely powerful angel god in that universe, Holy Kaisha. Wang Feng estimated that she might be equivalent to a universe-level life form. Even if she couldn't reach that level, she might only be half a step away. Compared to those demon gods, she was much, much stronger. However, even with the help of so many forces, the Blue Planet and the super soldiers of the Hero Company couldn't be saved. Mu Rou's expression dimmed. Wang Feng patted Mu Rou's shoulder. Senior, Mu Rou suddenly said, after the Galactic War, the Blazing Sun Heavenly Path and the Angel Nebula joined the war and lost many soldiers. A portion of them were sucked into this world. You should be able to see them. Hearing this, Wang Feng was stunned. Then, he nodded. If that was the case, it was a little strange. With the strength of the Blazing Sun Heavenly Path and the Angel Nebula, how could their soldiers' souls be pulled into this world after they died? The souls of ordinary humans on the Blue Planet could be understood. The Dark Demon World was too powerful for them. A portion of them were sucked in? Wang Feng pondered. Could it be that this soul world had other secrets? What about the Angel King of the Angel Nebula, Holy Kaisha? Wang Feng asked. Angel King. Holy Kaisha. When I died, she was no longer there. Mu Rou thought for a moment. No longer there? Wang Feng thought for a moment. Then it's Angel Yen? No wonder. Compared to Holy Kaisha, this person's strength is too weak. Angel Yen. Mu Rou was stunned. Then, she shook her head and said, No, the successor of the Angel King is Angel Feng, the right-wing guard of Holy Kaisha. Hearing this, Wang Feng's head was full of question marks. Chapter 1629. When Wang Feng left, He was still thinking about what Mu Rou had said. This change is a bit big. Wang Feng pondered. He had watched the original anime and manga before. After the death of Angel King Kaisha, the temporary successor was Angel Yen. Who the hell was this Angel Maple? Where did he come from? He should be a transmigrator? That was interesting. He didn't expect the blue planet where Mu Rou was from to have such a big change. Thinking of this, Wang Feng could understand a little. Angel Maple, what a coincidence. He has the same name as me. Wang Feng decided that if he encountered the souls of the angel warriors in the Angel Nebula, he would ask more. Half a day ago. Soul-cleansing ocean. If one looked from the sky, the entire soul-cleansing ocean was in the shape of a spiral. The seawater flowed slowly around the center. Many small islands floated on the spiral-shaped sea. The center was shrouded in a layer of clouds. In the clouds, there were surges made of seawater. Outside the surges, demonic souls looked at them hungrily, as if they wanted to step into the surges. But in the soul-cleansing ocean, there were many demonic souls. Looking down from the sky, there were countless of them. Some were on the sea, and some were on the island. On the largest island in the center of the soul-cleansing ocean, a demonic soul with vast demonic power stood at the highest point of the island. His whole body was shining with bright soul light. The demonic soul looked no different from a real soul demon, as if it had a physical body. The demonic power on his body soared into the sky, enveloping half of the soul-cleansing ocean. Zhou Zai's demonic souls stood in the surroundings in an orderly manner. Not long after, several demonic souls carried a small mountain and flew over. This small mountain was dozens of meters tall, but it was crystal clear and radiant, exuding a huge energy aura. If Mu Rou was here, she would definitely realize that this small mountain was the Forget Soul Pearl. However, this was not a pearl, but a Forget Soul Stone that contained soul energy. It was the size of a mountain. This kind of Forget Soul Stone, the size of a small mountain, needed to be condensed over a long period of time. The largest devil soul raised its hand, and a third of the small mountain was dug out. It seemed to treat it as an object. This demonic soul absorbed the soul energy in it unhurriedly, but it didn't seem to be interested. After absorbing it for a moment, he tossed it out casually with an impatient look on his face. However, after absorbing the soul energy, his devil soul's aura became even stronger. So what if my devil soul is strong? He let out a cold snort as he stared at the center that was shrouded in clouds. After passing through the water, they arrived at the center of the soul-cleansing sea, where the reincarnation well was. But he didn't go in. He was here on a mission. I, the great imperial demon god, was sent here to guard the well of reincarnation even after my death. Demonic soul's tone was filled with unwillingness. Hateful. Hateful. However, he seemed to have thought of something. This unwillingness did not turn into action. Ever since he returned from the wormhole, he had been tricked by that human in another world, and even his demonic body had been shattered. Only the demonic soul was left. After returning to the Dark Devil Realm, he went to the Clear Sky Palace and was summoned by the Yama Master. Instead, he was sent here to guard the soul-cleansing ocean. However, he did not expect that not long after, the Yama Master would actually come in person. This meant that the Yama Master's demonic body in the Dark Devil Realm had also died. Moreover, the Yama Master had entered the Well of Reincarnation and said that he wanted to unveil the Well of Reincarnation to control the Dark Devil Realm. In order not to be disturbed, he was sent here to guard the soul-cleansing ocean. He, the great imperial demon god, did not want to obey at first. After all, he was already dead and only his demonic soul was left. In the soul world, the Yama Master might not be much stronger than him. The more he thought about it, the more unhappy he became. He was about to go to the Well of Reincarnation to check it out himself. He did not expect that demon god Huang Hai had also come to the soul world and wanted to barge into the soul-cleansing ocean to enter the well of reincarnation. Naturally, he could not stop him. He even planned to join forces with demon god Huang Hai. However, this plan did not succeed. Just as demon god Huang Hai was about to enter the center through the water, Yama Lord appeared and shattered demon god Huang Hai's devil soul. Then, Yama Lord expelled demon god Huang Hai from the soul forbidden zone outside the Styx waterfall and sealed him. That was a little tragic. He did not even have the time to say a word to demon god Huang Hai. After that, when Imperial Demon God saw that scene, he felt that it was not a bad idea to guard the soul-cleansing ocean for a while. It was a good opportunity to strengthen his soul. Huang Hai, oh Huang Hai, you are a fool. Imperial Demon God looked into the distance and said slowly, instead of living a carefree life in the dark demon world, you came to the soul world to reincarnate? Why did you provoke the Yama Master? Now that your demonic soul is shattered and sealed in the soul forbidden zone, it must not be good, right? Thinking of this, he could not help but think of that hateful human. If that human comes to the soul world, if I do not torture your soul to the point that you wish you were dead, I am not called Imperial Demon God, he said fiercely. But after saying that, he sighed. With that human strength and cunning, how could he die in the dark demon world? Thinking of this, Imperial Demon God's fighting spirit fell. At this moment, suddenly, a dazzling light came from afar and turned into a pillar of light that rose slowly. This aura is a little familiar. Why can't I remember? Imperial Demon God looked into the distance. That place was the soul forbidden zone outside the Nether River waterfall. Ever since he came here to suppress the soul-cleansing sea, all demonic souls except for the soul demons were driven to that place. What a joke! He was a demon god. How could he stay with the souls of other races that were as lowly as ants? The main reason he drove those lowly souls to the soul forbidden zone was to annoy demon god Huang Hai. He liked to hit people when they were down the most. When that human disguised himself as demon god Dai and passed by the infinite demon zone on his way back to the dark demon world, he was the first to find trouble. What a powerful soul pressure! Imperial Demon God opened his eyes and felt very strange. That is the soul forbidden zone. At the edge of the soul world, the soul energy is thin, the souls of soul demons cannot survive for long. Such a powerful soul pressure, what was it? Even from so far away I can still sense it. It is not ordinary. Could it be that the bastard Huang Hai broke the seal? Impossible, the Yama Master's seal and demonic souls have been sealed. Even if he broke the seal, he would be very weak. How can there be such a powerful soul pressure? No, let those nightmare souls in the Nether River check it out first. These nightmare souls were mostly demon monarchs when they were alive. It is completely easy for them to kill those lowly souls in the soul forbidden zone. To be able to sense such a powerful soul pressure, there might be a powerful expert among those lowly souls. Thousands of nightmare souls were enough to deal with it. Imperial Demon God pondered and immediately ordered the nightmare souls around him. In just a moment, a group of nightmare souls set out toward the soul forbidden zone. Chapter 1630. They headed west. According to Mu Ro, the island occupied by the souls of the angel warriors was called Sky Heart Island. It was a place that was comparable to the cultivators of Cloud Gathering Island outside of the Styx River waterfall. The difference was that there weren't many angel warriors in the area they were in. The number was much less than that of humans, not even 1%. Wang Feng understood this. There weren't many angel warriors in the Angel Nebula. They were elites. This was especially so for high-level angels. They had bodies and could use dark energy. They also had all sorts of powerful technological weapons and true divine power. They weren't much weaker than the demon gods in the dark demon world. They might even be able to fight evenly with the demon gods after leaving the dark demon world. They were much stronger than the cultivators of Cloud Gathering Island in terms of fighting strength. They were at least on the level of immortals. However, it was unlikely that high-level angels would come to the soul world after dying. Those who came were probably low-level and mid-level angels. Basically, the demon god of desolation's demonic will must have been sealed at this location. The reason was simple. The place where the demon god of Huang Hai was sealed must have denser soul energy than other places. Whether it was cultivators, holy spellcasters, or angels, they would definitely choose to stay in places with denser soul energy. The demon god of Huang Hai must have put in a lot of effort to do this. If he didn't make the soul energy in the place where he was sealed more dense, how could he attract others? How could he bewitch others? Oh, there's a battle. A huge island finally appeared in his line of sight. Wang Feng could sense a pure soul aura from afar. This soul aura wasn't just pure, it was also familiar to Wang Feng. It was an angel's soul. Wang Feng was very familiar with it. Speaking of which, the angel martial soul of the Douluo continent. Different angels from different worlds were all the same race. Just like humans, there were traces of humans in countless worlds. However, they were all humans by nature. It was just that their origins might be different. Some were created, and some were slowly evolved from the changes of the species. Wang Feng stopped in his tracks. It's a demonic soul. These angels are really warlike. Wang Feng looked into the distance. He had already sensed the demon god of Huang Hai's demonic consciousness. It should be on Sky Heart Island. However, the battle did not take place on the island. Instead, it took place outside the island. Oh, the souls of these angels only look slightly different. It feels like it was made by an assembly line. Wang Feng vaguely saw a few figures. For some reason, the appearance of these angels reminded Wang Feng of a familiar figure. I don't know where little Snow went. Isn't it better for her to stay in the divine world with her mother? He's running all over the place and doesn't even leave a message. Wang Feng sighed. Looking at her made one think of her. Angels were mostly the same. Even their auras were similar. That was why Wang Feng missed her so much. At this moment, several figures came from afar and landed around Wang Feng like flowing light. With a loud boom, it fell into the sea. It was two angel warriors who had fallen into the water in a sorry state. However, before Wang Feng could react, the two of them flew out from the surface of the sea. Their wings flapped slightly like butterflies as they charged forward again. The ones who died were all female angels. However, to be able to beat up these angel warriors, logically speaking, it should be a very powerful demonic soul. Wang Feng frowned slightly. Shouldn't such powerful soul demons appear in the Nether River? Could it be that they're also sealed? It was impossible that the Lord of Hell had also sealed a large number of demonic souls here, right? At this time, another two silhouettes, accompanied by a powerful soul explosion, shot over and landed at Wang Feng's feet. He might as well ask them directly. Wang Feng was too lazy to think too much. He looked at the angel warrior at his feet. What's the situation with you? What situation? Didn't you see that we were sneak attacked by these ugly soul demons? You're a human soul? The angel warrior's soul trembled as she replied subconsciously. But halfway through, she seemed to realize something. Sneak attacked? Wang Feng thought for a moment. Those are not sealed soul demons? What sealed soul demons? The female angel warrior rose to her feet, her expression cold and furious. It was the soul demons in the Nether River who suddenly attacked Sky Heart Island. Why, didn't you humans have them? As she spoke, she suddenly rushed in front of Wang Feng. The angel sword in her hand, which was transformed from soul energy, slashed out a sharp blade of light in front of her. The combat strength of the angel warrior in her soul form was certainly far inferior. Moreover, she could only rely on soul energy to fight. Often, the fiercer the battle, the greater the consumption. Get out of my way. You humans will only drag us down in the galactic war. You're not much use after you die. she said coldly. Although she said that, she still stood in front of Wang Feng, the human soul. Angels who followed the order of justice had a noble concept of justice. However, having such a concept of justice did not mean that they did not have their own character. It was very similar to the angel civilization in Wang Feng's memory. Why did the soul demons sneak attack your Sky Heart Island? Wang Feng asked. Who knows? Why? Are you humans here to deliver a message? Unfortunately, it's too late. Why didn't the cultivators on your cloud-gathering island come? Why did they send you, a human? The angel warrior in front of him was like a beam of light, her soul flashing with arcs of light. She spoke as she fought. The cultivators on cloud-gathering island, their souls might have already disappeared, Wang Feng said. It seems that a demon god is causing trouble. When I passed by the small island of the Saint Dharma practitioners, I also heard that a demon god is causing trouble. Don't you have one on your Sky Heart Island? The moment he said that, the angel warrior in front of him, who was fighting valiantly, suddenly froze. As expected. How can we angels be the same as those Saint Dharma practitioners and cultivators like the scorching sun heavenly Tao? The angel warrior turned around and stared at Wang Feng. She sneered and said, they were threatened by the demon god and were willing to be controlled. Unfortunately, there are not many angels on our Sky Heart Island for him to control. If he wants to kill, he will kill. If he wants to scrape, he will scrape. Who is afraid? It seems that they have suffered the consequences of their own actions. These words confirmed Wang Feng's suspicions. These angel warriors must have been bewitched by the demon god of Desolate Sea. However, it was clear that these angel warriors were tougher. They were not threatened by the demon god of Desolate Sea. So you? Are you here to seek refuge on our Sky Heart Island? She looked at Wang Feng and sized him up. During the Milky Way War, the Angel Nebula has sacrificed enough. We don't owe you humans anything. You can go. Go somewhere else. A human like you will only become a burden to the demon god to threaten us. Wang Feng laughed. What she said made sense. No wonder these angels were not threatened. There were probably no humans in their area. Even if the demon god of Desolate Sea wanted to threaten them, he would not be able to find a chance. You misunderstood. I am not here to seek refuge, Wang Feng said. Then what are you here for? She frowned and asked. I am here to harvest the demon god. Wang Feng looked at Sky Heart Island and said slowly. After saying that, his palm shook and the Pangu axe suddenly appeared. Then, he leaped up and chopped at Sky Heart Island in front of him. The bright axe light illuminated the sky, imprinting the beautiful face of the Angel Nebula with ink. Following the rumbling sound of a 1,000-foot wave, Sky Heart Island in the distance was split into two. Chapter 1631. With a swing of the axe, he split Sky Heart Island in front of him. The waves split into two, and an extremely powerful soul aura slowly rose from the bottom of Sky Heart Island. Feeling this aura, Wang Feng's eyes looked as if he was looking at a delicious meal. This angel warrior was stunned for a long time. However, when she came back to her senses, her mind went blank. She could not speak at all. There are not many angels on Sky Heart Island. My axe did not hurt your souls. Wang Feng said, the demon god sealed in Sky Heart Island is not easy for you, right? You have to watch it in fear every day. Although you angels have your own beliefs and will not be bewitched. However, guarding such a demon god is a huge burden for all of you. Wang Feng weighed the Pangu axe. He attacked decisively, not intending to give the demon god of desolation any chance to escape. He did not even give him a chance to quibble. After the axe split Sky Heart Island, the seal on the island was revealed. The seal beneath the island was revealed. Not only did this axe cleave apart Sky Heart Island, but it also broke the seal. Wang Feng glanced at the soul demons around him and said, Although you angels claim to have cut ties with humans, you have settled on Sky Heart Island and are not bewitched by the demon god of desolation. With your strength, you angels are strong enough to break into the soul-cleansing sea and enter the cycle of reincarnation. But you still did not leave. You still want to guard this demon god. You do not want him to harm humans. However, you angels must be very disappointed because those saint spellcasters and immortal cultivators have been bewitched by the demon god. They have secretly done things that you angels find shameful. That is why you look down on humans. Wang Feng revealed the secret in the angel warrior's heart with one sentence. According to this angel, they were not bewitched by the demon god of desolation. Then, there was no need for them to stay here. They could just leave. The souls of these angel warriors were not weak. It was not difficult for them to enter the soul-cleansing sea. If there were souls of high-level angel warriors, they might even be able to enter the reincarnation well. They did not leave because they wanted to guard the demon god of desolation. Evil should be suppressed. She didn't admit to Wang Feng's words. Instead, she stared at Wang Feng cautiously. You broke the seal on Sky Heart Island and released the soul of the demonic god. What are you trying to do? You're just a human soul. How can you take the soul of a demon god? The weapon in your hand is very special, but it can't hide the fact that your soul is weak. Also, we're currently being attacked by the soul demons from the Nether River. We've fallen into a bitter battle. The loss of Sky Heart Island means that we've lost our headquarters as well. You humans are really stubborn. If you have the ability, just kill these soul demons. The angel warrior was still as arrogant as ever. You're right. It's a fact that my soul is weak. Wang Feng felt that the angels' personalities reminded him of Qianrenxue. No matter what universe an angel was in, they were all the same. However, it wasn't my soul that absorbed it, but it. Wang Feng threw out the Pangu axe in his hand. As for these soul demons, you are the ones who are fighting a bitter battle. You angels claim to be the enforcers of the universe's justice. If I help you get rid of these soul demons, won't I be looking down on you? It's better if you do it yourselves. You. The angel warrior was stunned. She probably didn't expect this human to be more arrogant than them. She snorted coldly. You speak as if you can get rid of so many soul demons. Wang Feng ignored her. He drove the Pangu axe with his soul and flew to the sky above Sky Heart Island. Rumble. Under the sea, the ancient seal slowly disintegrated. The huge demon shadow, accompanied by extremely dark soul energy, turned into a towering demon shadow. Human, are you really going to be so ruthless? The demon god Huang Hai's roar came from afar. It was filled with extreme reluctance and anger. If you and I work together, I'll give you that demon chi. Don't you want to know why the Yama Lord entered the reincarnation well? The demon god Huang Hai's voice entered his ears, as if he wanted to make a final struggle. If you let me go, I'll tell you a shocking secret. This secret is not only related to the reincarnation well, but also the universe's calamity. It's even somewhat related to the god realm. Wang Feng shook his head and said casually, "Sorry, I'm not interested." Wang Feng didn't believe a single word the demon god Huang Hai said. Then, Wang Feng activated the primordial origin, grasped the void, and chopped at the demon shadow with the Pangu axe. Heh! You will regret it. The demonic will of the desolate sea's demonic god muttered one last sentence with a desolate laugh. Continue acting if you want to. Wang Feng smiled. The demon god Huang Hai was good at messing with people's minds. Wang Feng wasn't in a hurry, but he was. The demon god Huang Hai was now a lamb waiting to be slaughtered. He had no right to negotiate with him. He was a demon god, so it was normal for him to have a few big secrets. But Wang Feng was sure that these secrets were nothing to him. After all, he was only a few steps away from the reincarnation well. He didn't need the demon god Huang Hai to tell him any secret. He would know them sooner or later. This bastard was just trying to mess with his mind. That way, he would have more chances. It wasn't like Wang Feng hadn't used this trick before. After the Pangu axe cut through the demon god Huang Hai's demon god Huang Hai's demon god Huang Hai, the primordial origin absorbed the soul energy and supplied it to the Pangu axe. Wang Feng put away the Pangu axe, turned around, and looked at the stunned angel warrior. "What's your name?" She was dazed again. She answered subconsciously. "Mo, Angel Mo. I'm Holy Kaisha's protector Angel Ling." As soon as she finished speaking, she came to her senses and looked at Wang Feng silently. This human was unfathomable. Angel Ling. I'm familiar with this name. Wang Feng tried to recall. Protector angels were all high-level angels. Holy Kaisha seemed to have more than 10 protector angels. "How old are you?" Wang Feng asked. 1,300 years old, so young. Sacrificed 1,000 years old. What a pity. Wang Feng sighed. Unknowingly, he was also an old monster who was tens of thousands of years old. For beings with long lifespans like angels, 1,000 years old was very young. "You're just a human." Angel Mo glanced at Wang Feng. She wanted to say, "What right does a human soul have to call me young?" But after thinking about it, he decided to forget about it. The demon god from before seemed to know this human, which meant that he was not an ordinary human. "Alright, let's leave it at that. I'm leaving now." Wang Feng waved his hand and nodded slightly as he sensed the Pangu axe slowly recovering. He estimated that he would be able to recover 20% to 30% of his strength after absorbing all of demon god Huang Hai's demonic will. However, from the looks of it, as the Pangu axe martial spirit's cultivation progressed, it would require more soul energy. End of chapter. Chapter 1632. You're leaving just like that? Angel Foam looked at her fellow angels who were still in a bitter battle ahead. The axe light just now had split Sky Heart Island and released the demon god. Many of the angel warriors thought that another powerful soul demon had descended, and their fighting spirit dropped a lot. Fortunately, the demon god had only taken a few breaths before it was killed. This made the fighting spirit of the angel warriors rise again. However, 2 fists were no match for 4 hands. The densely packed soul demons were innumerable. "Why? You want a human like me to help?" Wang Feng stopped and squinted at her. "This is not the style of you angels. My goal is only that demon god. Angels don't need anyone's help. Go." Angel Foam shook her head. "We will deal with these soul demons. Monarch Tianxiu will protect us." After saying that, her soul suddenly emitted a powerful soul fluctuation, and she shouted again and again. "Build holiness with the body, burn away the darkness with the soul, and the light of justice will illuminate every world. Monarch Tianxiu will protect us angels." Wang Feng's eyelids twitched. This angel was going to burn her soul to fight. She was a bit stubborn. And who was Monarch Tianxiu? Since he succeeded the throne of Holy Kaisha, shouldn't he be called Monarch Tianxiu? Could it be that Angel Maple had changed his title? Thinking of this, Wang Feng suddenly said, "Wait a minute. Wait, I'll ask you a few questions. If you answer me honestly, I'll tell you the truth. If you answer me truthfully, I'll destroy these soul demons." Wang Feng said to destroy these soul demons, but he didn't say that he would help them. Otherwise, with the rigidity of these angels, they probably wouldn't accept it. Huh! Angel Foam was stunned. The soul flame that had just ignited all over her body was extinguished before it could continue burning. After a moment of silence, she said, "What's the question? If you want to inquire about the secret of the Angel Nebula, you can just leave. I'm not interested in your Angel Nebula." Wang Feng waved his hand. "But who is this Monarch Tianxiu you mentioned?" It seems that you're not a human of our universe at all." When Angel Foam heard this question, she seemed to understand something. She raised her head slightly and said proudly, Monarch Tianxiu is the highest leader of our angel civilization. After succeeding Queen Keisha, he's the fourth transcendent angel to have his own king title. Her life is only 10,000 years, but it is a life that every angel needs to look up to and learn from at all times. Is your holy Queen Keisha so powerful? Only 10,000 years old, Wang Feng said with a smile. What do you know? Angel Foam was furious. Queen Keisha made us the pioneers and founders of angel civilization. It is the ultimate ideology of justice, the symbol of the strongest in the universe. In other words, she's not as powerful as Holy Keisha. Wang Feng shook his head. I thought she was more powerful. This little angel was very tender. You. Angel Foam pointed at Wang Feng. She was so angry that she couldn't speak. Heavenly Alchemy King is different. When she was born in our angel civilization, there was already the phenomenon of the Tsangyao Emperor star in the universe. In less than 100 years, she became a high-level angel. Even Queen Keisha can't compare with him. And then? Angel Foam calmed down a little and snorted. Later, she comprehended the holy ideology of angels. She believed that angels should not only enforce justice in the universe, but also take the initiative to eliminate all evil. So she left Angel Nebula and went to every corner of the universe alone. She participated in countless wars. Nearly 5 years ago, she killed almost all the demons in the universe. Wang Feng. Not only that, all life related to evil was either purified, expelled, or destroyed. She let the name of angel spread throughout the universe. At that time, there were some problems in Angel Nebula. Queen Keisha unfortunately fell. Angel Foam said in a low voice, Heavenly Alchemy King returned to Angel Nebula. Under the orders of Queen Keisha and Skybase King Crane Shi, he became the new king of Angel Nebula, Heavenly Alchemy King. No matter how old the angels in Angel Nebula are, no one dares to disobey. Sounds quite powerful. Wang Feng nodded. That's right. It must be a transmigrator. However, looking at the situation, it should be a female transmigrator. Of course, it could also be a male. However, this transmigrator obviously wasn't that good. Since she had already transmigrated, how could she let Holy Keisha die? No, Holy Keisha shouldn't be dead. According to Holy Keisha's settings, her life level was too high. She couldn't be killed. Just like those universe-level life forms. After they died, their bodies and souls would turn into countless particles and dissipate in various worlds of the universe. Until one day there might be a possibility of recombining. However, the probability was too low. Those void life forms were formed from the fusion of these universe-level life forms particles and soul energy after they died. Right. Angel Foam was satisfied with Wang Feng's approval. And then? Wang Feng asked, That's it? Of course there's more. Angel Foam said loudly, After Heavenly Alchemy King succeeded the throne, he established a dark order on top of Queen Keisha's justice order. Dark order? Wang Feng was stunned. That's not right. Angel's order was similar to a theory of thought. Just like how angels believed in justice and carried out justice. That's right, Dark Order. Angel Foam's tone was solemn, her expression holy. After Heavenly Alchemy King succeeded the throne, he continuously quelled the chaos in the universe several times. She discovered that although justice illuminated the entire universe, there was no absolute justice in the universe. Darkness was born all the time. It was something that could never be eliminated. He eliminated the evil demon race and the soul demon of the dark demon world. Even the angel race would give birth to some darkness. Hence, he established the dark order within the justice order. Since he couldn't completely eliminate it, Heavenly Alchemy King believed that he had to completely control the darkness. Isn't this a betrayal? Wang Feng pondered. This Heavenly Alchemy King should have been crippled, right? No. Angel Foam shook her head. Heavenly Alchemy King destroyed countless darkness. She understood the darkness of the universe very well. When it was first established, there were many angels who opposed it. However, following that, many angels took the initiative to join the ranks of the Dark Order. And these angels were called the Dark Angels. They possessed different powers. However, they used another method to carry out the justice of the angels. Different from the angels of Justice Order, they were warlike, bloodthirsty, extremely cruel to their enemies, but they were stronger. However, they all believed in Heavenly Alchemy King. So, you angels split internally? Wang Feng was surprised. In the beginning, the split lasted for about 300 years. Angel Foam said slowly, but later, the darkness of the Angel Nebula and the old angels of the Sky Palace Order attacked the Angel Nebula. At that time, Heavenly Alchemy King, who had left the Angel Nebula to develop the Dark Order in the universe, was not there. Skybase King she could not defeat the leader of the Sky Palace Order, Huayi. At that time, Heavenly Alchemy King, who founded the Dark Order, returned in time. What the Angel Nebula did not expect was that Heavenly Alchemy King led the Dark Angels, who had only developed the Dark Order for 300 years. Not only did they save Skybase King she, but they also crushed the angels of the Sky Palace Order and killed Hua Ye's divine body in one move. Wang Feng nodded and said in admiration, "Amazing." After that, the Angel Nebula established two orders. The Dark Order in the universe was called the Other Side of Justice. Later, in the galactic battle with the Dark Demon World, the Dark Angels who believed in the Dark Order became the main force. When Angel Foam finished speaking, there was undisguised admiration in her tone. Not bad. She has the demeanor of a transmigrator. Wang Feng nodded. He somewhat approved of Heavenly Alchemy King as a transmigrator. If there was a chance, he could get to know her. Heavenly Alchemy King is Angel Maple, right? Wang Feng said with a smile. Yes. Angel Foam said and added, full name, Feng Yuxiu. Feng Yuxiu. Wang Feng subconsciously acknowledged. Then, his smile gradually froze. That's not right. This name, why do I feel a little familiar, and those dark angels. End of chapter. Chapter 1633. Wang Feng's eyelids twitched. However, the current situation was not clear. Simply using the name to confirm the identity felt somewhat fake. Judging from the age, the timing does match. Wang Feng muttered. Unfortunately, if he could contact Shiyu in the deity world, he might be able to get some information from her to confirm. Are you shocked by the deeds of our Tianxiu monarch? Angel Mo finally felt a little elated. This was the pride of the Angel Nebula. Indeed, I was shocked. Wang Feng nodded. If there's a chance, I hope to meet him. Then we may only meet in the next life, Angel Mo said regretfully. Even if our souls enter the reincarnation well, we can't directly return to the universe we are in. We are different. Wang Feng thought for a moment and stood up. He was about to use the chaos to kill all the soul demons in front of him. However, he suddenly thought of something and asked, did your Tianxiu monarch become someone's guardian angel? Guardian angel? Who is qualified? Angel Mo smiled disdainfully. In our universe, the person who can make our Tianxiu monarch a guardian angel has not been born yet. Indeed, he hasn't been born yet. Wang Feng nodded again. I'm very interested in what you said. I'll help you. After saying that, Wang Feng shook the Pangu axe in his hand and flew up into the sky. The back of the axe flashed with light and instantly turned into an ancient bell. The light of the chaos descended from the sky, accompanied by the sound of the ancient bell. The countless demonic souls fighting below suddenly trembled. Shake! Wang Feng clenched his hand, and the bell emitted a faint divine light that suppressed the world. The light sprinkled down, and countless demonic souls seemed to be sucked into a tornado. The energy in their souls was sucked dry. It's become stronger again, Wang Feng thought. This bell could suppress everything in the world and change time and space. Last time on the Saint Magic Island, it relied on turning back time to reseal those demonic souls. This time, after absorbing the demonic will of the demon god of Huanghai, the divine light it released could directly disperse the soul energy of these demonic souls. Although it hadn't reached the point where they were completely shaken into soul energy, it had greatly weakened the combat power of these demonic souls. Some of the weaker ones were completely unable to withstand the pressure emitted by the Bell of Chaos. Their demonic souls directly disappeared. In the space enveloped by the divine light, these demonic souls were unable to move. Suppressing heaven and earth, reversing time. I wonder what will happen if I absorb the souls of the billions of desolate wastelands living beings carved into the bell? Wang Feng understood. Suppressing the heavens and earth was not an incredible ability. For example, the black tide in the dark devil world. The black tide was a universe-level disaster. It was enough to shake the foundation of the dark demon world. Moreover, there were countless spatial rifts in the dark demon world that could not be repaired. If Wang Feng's Pangu axe could be transformed into the Bell of Chaos, even if it was not completely repaired, it would not be able to suppress the entire Darkfiend world. However, suppressing a few infernal realms was not a problem at all. A disaster like the Black Tide could not spread out at all. Those spatial cracks would be firmly sealed, making it even harder for those void creatures to enter the dark devil world. At this moment, the demonic soul was intimidated. Although the angel warriors did not know who was helping them, they were strong in fighting, so they immediately killed the attacking soul demon without hesitation. The battlefield was one-sided, and it did not take long for it to end. For this, Wang Feng left a few demonic souls behind and then grabbed them into the Bell of Chaos, intending to experiment. At the same time, he wanted to find out where these soul demons came from. Putting away the Bell of Chaos, Wang Feng said goodbye to Angel Mo. Little angel, we'll meet again if fate wills it. Hey wait. Angel Mo held her hand. Although I don't want to admit it, you did help us angels. What's your name? Me. Wang Feng thought for a moment and suddenly said, My name is Xie Qianren. After saying that, Wang Feng flew in another direction at top speed. Xie Qianren? Angel Mo pondered for a while, and felt that she had heard it somewhere before. However, because she had been dead for too long, many memories began to fade from her soul, causing a small gap in her memory. At this moment, several angels flew over from afar. Little Mo, what are you doing here? We were fighting a hard battle just now, but you're still in a daze here? Who's in a daze? Angel Mo frowned and said, I spent a lot of effort just now. Forget it, even if I tell you, you won't understand. I still haven't come back to my senses. This human. Her voice became softer and softer. What are you mumbling about? Now that the demon god has been killed by that mysterious Axelight, Captain Ling said that she plans to bring us to the reincarnation well. She plans to give it a try. Angel Mo nodded and suddenly asked, Yun, have you heard of the name Xie Qianren? Do you feel that it's familiar? I feel that it has something to do with Tian Xiu King. Xie Qianren. Let me think, sigh, I don't remember. I feel that our memories are gradually weakening, as if we have Alzheimer's. If we continue to stay in this place, sooner or later, we won't remember anything. Tian Xiu King. You can ask Captain Ling directly. Captain Ling admires Tian Xiu King the most, and she was the first batch of Dark Angels to join the Dark Order. She knows Tian Xiu King very well. After leaving Sky Heart Island, Wang Feng headed to the next location. The human area outside the Styx River waterfall was mainly populated by humans. Of course, there were also many lives from other worlds. Most of them were chased out by force. Moreover, most of the souls were the souls of ordinary humans. Almost every day, every moment, there were many human souls disappearing. Just like the island where Mu-Ro was, when he arrived, he heard a requiem, which meant that souls had disappeared. The closest to Sky Heart Island, there was no closest one. They were all very far away. Creatures like angels were very proud and disdained to be neighbors with others. Wang Feng flew for half a day, but he didn't see anyone. At most, there are 3 demonic thoughts left. That dog demon god Huang Hai is done for. Wang Feng heaved a sigh of relief, but he didn't let down his guard. The biggest gain from Sky Heart Island wasn't how much his Pangu Axe martial soul was restored. Instead, it was the news about Qianrenshu, although he wasn't completely sure. Speaking of which, there's still no news about Hulina, Wang Feng pondered. I just heard about Qianrenshu. Why am I thinking about Hulina again? I'm such a scumbag, Wang Feng coughed a few times. Wang Feng only heard about Hulina from the Crimson Deity Sky Fox. At that time, the Crimson Deity Sky Fox wanted to erase his memories of other women because of Hulina, to ensure that he only had Hulina in his heart. One could imagine that the Crimson Deity Sky Fox liked Hulina a lot. Chapter 1634. Hulina should be blessed by the heavens. She got the recognition of the Crimson Divine Sky Fox. I think she should be doing well. Wang Feng's gaze fell on the front. Islands that were neither big nor small began to be densely distributed in the sea area in front of them. Wang Feng closed his eyes and sniffed lightly. The smell of this soul is a bit special. There are humans, but more of other souls. Wang Feng was very sensitive to the aura of souls at this time. Because he didn't stop using the primordial origin to deduce the progress of soul cultivation techniques and systems along the way. Instead, he kept using the origin exchange technique to exchange for energy and keep the primordial origin in a state of operation. The more he deduced, the more Wang Fengxin understood about souls. This demonic will should be in the central island ahead. Wang Feng looked ahead. He didn't slow down. Not long after, he finally saw souls that were completely different from humans. They were beasts. That's right, these strange-looking souls in front of him were not human souls, but beasts. What a sin! How many worlds has the dark demon realm invaded, and there are so many beast souls? Wang Feng sighed. In a sense, the dark demon realm wasn't wrong. The resources of the dark demon realm couldn't support the cultivation of those soul demons. They could only cultivate by plundering the resources and lives of other worlds. Especially an intelligent weapon like the Godslayer, the resources it consumed were often measured in world. It seems, there are also soul beasts from the Douluo world? Wang Feng saw some familiar figures. The plain passage controlled by the divine realm was cut off, and the soul demons invaded. The souls of the dead creatures of these invaded worlds were also absorbed into this world. Because the passage was blocked, normally speaking, the reincarnation of the plane controlled by the divine realm was managed by Shiyu. After they died, they should enter the sea of reincarnation of the divine realm to be reincarnated. And now they were all sucked in here. But there weren't many. Because when the soul demons invaded the Douluo world, Wang Feng had just woken up and was vigorously developing soul contractors. The subsequent war, as expected, was won by the humans. Things were still beast. Don't cut the line, you little beast. Stay aside. On the island in front, a black python with 3 snake heads spat out a sentence in human language, scolding a seemingly young demonic beast. It was unknown why. On the small island in front of them, there was a long queue. In addition to the souls of humans, there were also countless souls of demonic beasts. They formed a long line, high and low. It was a spectacular sight. The end of the line was the island where Wang Feng had sensed the demonic will. This soul beast seems to be a mutated golden lightning leopard 10,000 years later. Wang Feng took a closer look and realized that this soul beast was very familiar. The golden lightning leopard was the contributor to his chaotic green lotus first soul ring. 10,000 years later, these soul beasts would mutate into silverlight leopards, lightning flash leopards, and so on. It had also become much smaller. Things had changed with the passage of time. He didn't expect to see the soul of a golden lightning leopard here, and from the looks of it, it was quite young. As soon as the golden lightning leopard was reprimanded by the black python, it immediately cowered and retreated. Obviously, he wasn't the one who cut the queue. Get lost, get to the back, don't stand in front of me. As soon as the leopard retreated, the demonic beasts behind it immediately chased it away. Step by step, it was driven to the back of the pack. It's a soul beast from the Douluo world. How can it be bullied by a demonic beast from another world? What a shame! Wang Feng looked at this scene. He thought that if Qing Qing and the others saw this scene, they would probably be very angry. After thinking for a while, he walked over and looked at the golden lightning leopard that was only half his height and looked like it had just reached adulthood. You're a soul beast, right? That black python cut your line and you're just going to let it go like this? The golden lightning leopard raised its head and glanced at Wang Feng. It wasn't too surprised. It rolled its eyes and lazily said, "That's right. So you're a human. It's really easy to talk. That's a three-headed dragon snake, and I'm just a little leopard. I can't afford to offend it, so what can I do? Wait, you know that I'm a soul beast. Are you a human soul master?" The golden lightning leopard circled around Wang Feng and said with a little surprise, "Old friend." As expected of a soul beast from 10,000 years later, its intelligence was still so high after death. "Who's your old friend?" Wang Feng looked at the little leopard with amusement. "I'm a human, and you're a soul beast. We're of different races." "Oh, what?" The golden lightning leopard looked at Wang Feng in surprise. "You human, when did you die?" "Before I died, humans and soul beasts had already joined forces to deal with those soul demons. We're comrades. Don't tell me you don't even know about soul contract masters?" At this point, the golden lightning leopard looked at the sky with a little disappointment. "What a pity. You missed a great era." Wang Feng. "But I missed it too." The golden lightning leopard lay on the ground and said with a little self-mockery, "I didn't have time to enjoy that great era and I died first. Sigh, soul beasts like us who died in the battle with the soul demons are the most tragic. I didn't expect to be bullied in this world as a soul. If I can enter the cycle of reincarnation, I definitely don't want to be reincarnated as a golden lightning leopard in my next life." Listening to the golden lightning leopard scolding himself, Wang Feng actually felt a little serious. "Then what do you want to be?" Wang Feng asked. "Become a human? Anything is fine, as long as you don't become a golden lightning leopard," he said, then looked at Wang Feng. "You're a soul master from the human world? How did you die? Did you also die in the battle between humans and soul demons?" "No, you're not a soul contract master. I self-detonated while fighting the strongest soul demon," Wang Feng said. "That's right. Theoretically speaking, Mo Tiance was the strongest existence among the soul demons, the only one who had reached the universe level among soul demons." "Then you're still a hero among humans." The golden lightning leopard sighed. "But in that battle, the number of deaths of humans and soul beasts was very small. You and I are both unfortunate, but you're much stronger than us." This little leopard didn't seem to suspect that Wang Feng was lying to him. "By the way, what are you doing here?" Wang Feng nodded with a smile and squatted down to look at the long line in front. The golden lightning leopard looked at Wang Feng strangely and said, "Don't you know? This is Fox Hill Island. There's a scarlet fox supreme who knows yin and yang, can calculate the fate of heaven, and can see through marriage. It's said that this white fox god was a very powerful deity when she was alive. She came from the soul-cleansing sea. She could have been reincarnated long ago, but she didn't enter the legendary soul-cleansing sea. Instead, He stayed behind and continued to answer the questions of us lost souls. He pointed at the long line and said, "These beasts all want to know how their friends and partners are doing after they die. This Scarlet Fox revered master will be able to tell them to calm their hearts and make them feel at ease." Scarlet Fox Supreme. Wang Feng looked at the small island in the distance and frowned slightly. "You don't even know this? What are you doing here?" The golden lightning leopard poked Wang Feng's soul and said with a respectful tone, "This Scarlet Fox Supreme is not only powerful and can protect a region. The 3 strongest beast emperors in our region were much stronger than million-year soul beasts when they were alive. But they all worship and respect this Scarlet Fox Supreme. Its strength is unfathomable." At this point, the golden lightning leopard said in a low voice, "It's said that under this small island, there's a deity's soul among the soul demons called the demonic god. The Crimson Fox Supremacy had specifically suppressed it on this small island. Otherwise, all the souls in our region would have been devoured by this demonic god." "Is that so?" Wang Feng nodded thoughtfully. Chapter 1635. Fox Hill Island. It was very famous in this area, mainly because it was very famous among the souls of the demonic beast. Wang Feng had never heard of it before. This was because this area was relatively far from the human area where Mu Ro was. The angels of Sky Heart Island would not bother to go to other areas, let alone to the demonic beast. The Scarlet Fox Supreme Being that the Golden Lightning Leopard spoke of only had an area of influence within this area. In this long queue, human souls only made up a small part of it. They must have come here and heard about it, so they all lined up to pay a visit to the Scarlet Fox Supreme Being. What was interesting was what the Golden Lightning Leopard said. This Scarlet Fox Supreme Being had obviously stayed in this world for a long time. It was not right for him to be so low-key after such a long time. After pondering for a while, Wang Feng felt that this junior leopard's news was most likely hearsay. There are so many beast souls. Wang Feng looked at the long queue and thought that he might as well just chop the island with his axe. Of course, there are more and more beasts dying these days. The Golden Lightning Leopard said, "If you want to line up, it will take at least 2 days before it's your turn. However, I think there should be a shortcut," Wang Feng said with a serious face. "What shortcut?" The Golden Lightning Leopard was stunned. "I've been here for a while. Why don't I know of any shortcuts?" Wang Feng walked towards the 3-headed black snake. This 3-headed black snake was quite large, 7 to 8 meters tall. From afar, its soul looked like a mirage, ferocious and terrifying. It was probably not a good thing when it was alive. Wang Feng took a step forward and stood behind the 3-headed black snake, then said to the 3-headed black snake in front of him, "Little snake in front, quickly move aside, you're cutting the queue." This action was so familiar that the Golden Lightning Leopard at the back sucked in a breath of cold air, exclaiming in its heart. The 3-headed dragon snake in front turned around and looked for a long time, then lowered its head and realized that it was a human who was talking to it. It was stunned for a long time. The other demonic beasts in front and behind were also stunned for a long time, then burst into strange laughter. "Human, are you talking to me?" The 3-headed dragon snake looked at Wang Feng with uncertainty. "What else can I do? You cut the queue. Hurry up and go to the back." Wang Feng waved his hand. The 3-headed dragon snake was still in disbelief. It was one thing for a human soul to come to their demonic beast territory, but this was the first time he had seen someone so arrogant. This was the first time he had encountered such a situation. It was so sudden that the 3-headed dragon snake did not know how to respond. After thinking about it, he felt that he should just beat him up. The 3-headed dragon snake nodded. He felt that this was a good idea. Just as he was thinking this, all of a sudden, the human took out an ordinary-looking axe. Then, the back of the axe came slashing over. Boom! The 3-headed dragon snake felt a surge of energy coming down from the axe. He felt as if his soul had been hit by the entire world. His huge soul form was blasted into a stream of light and flew into the distance, turning into a speck of light. Dilly-dallying, Wang Feng said. Then, he looked at the demonic beast in front of him and continued, "You cut the line. Either you go to the back, or—" Wang Feng weighed the axe in his hand. The demonic beast in front of him was a dragon elephant with wings. When it heard Wang Feng's words, it glanced at the three-headed dragon snake and quickly moved aside to make way. "He's a big boss." The golden thunder leopard at the back came to his senses and hurriedly followed. A ruthless person who can fight with the strongest soul demons and self-destruct is indeed powerful. Wang Feng walked unimpeded all the way to Fox Hill Island in front of him. He felt that the three-headed dragon snake's method was excellent. "Everyone in front of me is cutting the line." The golden thunder leopard at the back puffed out its chest and sucked in its stomach. It followed behind Wang Feng valiantly and also walked unimpeded all the way to Fox Hill Island. Along the way, they also encountered a few tough opponents. However, in the eyes of the golden thunder leopard, this human fellow was too strong. Not a single demonic beast could last more than 2 rounds with the axe in his hand. Basically, they were all sent flying. It's obvious that his soul is weak, but he's so strong. The world of the strong is indeed beyond my imagination. The golden thunder leopard obediently hugged Wang Feng's thigh. While it felt comfortable in its heart, it sighed repeatedly. Not long after, Fox Hill Island was already in front of them. This line was almost at the end. "Human, don't be too arrogant." Finally, a demonic beast could not stand it anymore. It was a golden-eyed tiger beast. Its appearance did not seem to be anything special. However, the surrounding demonic beasts had awe in their eyes. "This is one of the 3 beast emperors on our side, the Great Flame Golden Tiger Emperor. Fellow townsmen, you can't cut this person's line." The golden thunder leopard followed behind Wang Feng and whispered, "It was an existence comparable to a god when it was alive. You have to know that among us soul beasts, there is no one who can become a god." Wang Feng smiled, looked at the golden tiger emperor and said, "Are you going to let me through or not?" After saying that, it raised its axe slightly. "You!" The great flame golden tiger emperor held its breath, turned slightly, and said arrogantly, "If you want to pass, then pass. You talk too much nonsense." The golden thunder leopard. He just watched as his fellow townsmen swaggered over. His mind was full of question marks. No, it was one of the 3 beast emperors. In this place, other than the Crimson Fox Supreme, it was the strongest existence. Who would dare to be arrogant? Unexpectedly, Wang Feng touched the Pengu axe in his hand. As the speed of the repair gradually increased, the pressure this axe brought to these souls increased day by day. Even if he did not attack, just holding it in his hand was enough to make these souls feel the threat of death. Although the Great Flame Golden Tiger Emperor was very arrogant, it was obviously because it was very powerful when it was alive that it could feel the aura of the Pengu axe. "Fellow townsmen, you're amazing. Even the Golden Tiger Emperor is afraid." The Golden Thunder Leopard was still following behind Wang Feng. "Speaking of which, you want to see the Crimson Fox Supreme. It seems that you still have many regrets when you were alive." "That's not it." Wang Feng shook his head. "Then why are you here?" The Golden Thunder Leopard was puzzled. "You've offended many demonic beasts this time." Wang Feng weighed the Pengu axe. At this time, they had also reached the end of the line. It happened to be on the coast of Fox Hill Island. In front of them, there was a vertical staircase. On the staircase, there were many demonic beasts waiting to meet the Crimson Fox Supreme. All of them looked excited. Soon, demonic beasts walked down from the top of the staircase. Their expressions were either gratified, angry, disappointed, or unwilling. Thousands of emotions could be seen from these demonic beasts. Chapter 1636. Occasionally there would be 1 or 2 humans. We'll be able to see the Scarlet Fox Supreme after we pass the stairs. The Golden Lightning Leopard said. Wang Feng nodded. He could clearly sense the demonic will of the demon god of Huanghai. It was on this island. However, this demonic will was more obscure than the previous ones. This meant that the seal was extremely stable. Perhaps it was the Scarlet Fox Supreme's doing. The Golden Lightning Leopard looked at Wang Feng, who was about to step onto the stairs, and suddenly said timidly, "Old friend, I'm a little scared." "What are you scared of?" Wang Feng looked at the leopard in surprise. "I'm a little scared. What if the Scarlet Fox Supreme tells me that something happened to my friends and partners?" The Golden Lightning Leopard looked disappointed. "If something happened to them, you two should have met by now," Wang Feng said. No. The Golden Lightning Leopard shook its head. "That's not what I'm talking about." "Then what is it?" Wang Feng asked. The Golden Lightning Leopard hesitated for a moment, then said, "You know that soul beasts' partners aren't that loyal to each other. If I die, my wife and children will definitely be with other soul beasts. It's hard to bear. Look at those demonic beasts walking down the stairs. They're probably like that." The Golden Lightning Leopard pointed at the demonic beasts walking down the stairs. "Well," Wang Feng pondered for a moment. "Then it's fine if you don't know. As long as you don't know, you won't feel bad." "How can that be?" The Golden Lightning Leopard shook its head. "I'm here because I want to know how they're doing." Wang Feng smiled. He walked up the stairs. The stairs weren't high. There were more than 200 steps. When he reached the top, he saw a huge purple ancient tree. Under the tree there was a graceful fox figure. Below the head it looked like a human. Only its head was a scarlet fox head with red eyes. It was the Scarlet Fox Supreme that the Golden Lightning Leopard mentioned. In front of the Scarlet Fox Supreme, there was another demonic beast. It seemed to be asking something. At this moment, the Scarlet Fox Supreme formed a seal with both hands and shot out a light screen in the air. Then, it raised its hand and gently grabbed a leaf from the purple ancient tree, then threw it forward. It seemed to be using some ancient soul secret technique. In an instant, the light screen in front of him displayed a series of realistic images. It showed 2 demon beasts running at full speed in the forest, with 2 soul demons chasing after them. The moment the demonic beast caught sight of this, it was enraged to the extreme as it hurled itself towards the void. It was as if it wanted to shatter the image. "Your wife and child are in a very bad situation. As you can see, they are being pursued." Exalted Crimson Fox spoke slowly. His voice was so neutral that one couldn't tell if it was a man or a woman. The demonic beast knelt down and kowtowed. "Supreme Crimson Fox, I beg you, do you have a way to help them escape from those soul demons? Even if I have to sacrifice my soul so that I can never be reincarnated, it doesn't matter." Exalted Crimson Fox was silent for a while, then shook his head and said, "I'm sorry, the separation of yin and yang isn't something I can change. I can only let you know what you want to know. That was all. In this world, it's already not easy." Hearing this, the demonic beast suddenly stood up. In its soul form, its eyes were red. His voice trembled with a hint of anger. "If that's the case, why did you let me know? What's the use of just letting me know? You might as well not let us know." After saying that, it turned around and ran down the island. "Look, my fellow townsmen," Golden Lightning Leopard said with a trembling voice. "Although this Supreme Crimson Fox can understand yin and yang and divine the heavenly secrets, it can't change anything. Of course, I know that it's already not easy for us, who are already dead, to know these things." "Interesting," Wang Feng said simply. He paused for a moment, but did not step forward. "My fellow townsmen, I suddenly don't feel like asking any more." Golden Lightning Leopard took 2 steps back. "Why don't you go? I'll just watch." Wang Feng still did not step forward. "Don't tell me you're afraid too?" Golden Lightning Leopard asked. Wang Feng did not answer. You came from afar with a heavy responsibility. Why did you stop here? Supreme Crimson Fox suddenly asked. Wang Feng was very familiar with this kind of tone. He walked forward and sized up the Crimson Fox Venerable. From its appearance, it was impossible to tell what kind of species it was. Its soul energy was powerful, even stronger than the great flame golden tiger emperor he encountered before. You're a human. It's not easy for you to come here, Supreme Crimson Fox continued. I've been waiting for you for a long time. You know what I'm here for? Wang Feng asked. Yes. Supreme Crimson Fox pointed at the ancient tree behind it. This is the purple ink soul-suppressing tree, a soul treasure formed from my soul energy. That demon god's demonic will is suppressed beneath the tree. You know me? Wang Feng asked again. I know you and I don't know you, Supreme Crimson Fox said. Speak human. Don't play riddles with me. Wang Feng waved his hand. Supreme Crimson Fox was speechless. After a long silence, it slowly said, the demon god of desolation's soul was cut into 6 parts by that person and sealed in 6 locations outside the Nether River. I know the location of each demonic will. Later, the humans were chased out by the imperial demon god of the soul-cleansing sea. That demon god wanted to use the humans to create an opportunity for the demon god of desolation to break the seal. So, I came here to suppress the demonic will. At the same time, I deduced that the demon god of desolation's demon god of desolation was about to die. However, I didn't know how the demonic will of the demon god of desolation would die. That was until I saw a ray of light that was enough to suppress the heavens where those saint spell masters were. I think it might be related to that. You know a lot, Wang Feng said. What else do you know? Supreme Crimson Fox hesitated for a moment and glanced at Wang Feng. You have a tribulation in this world. What tribulation? Wang Feng asked with a smile. Is it related to the Sea of Reincarnation? No. Supreme Crimson Fox shook its head. It's the Peach Blossom Tribulation. Wang Feng looked at it in shock. How did you calculate that? Wang Feng asked. Your soul. Supreme Crimson Fox pointed at Wang Feng. There are too many threads of love. You might not be able to see them, but I can see them. Tell me about it. Wang Feng looked at Supreme Crimson Fox with interest. Actually, there was something else. Threads of love are an ethereal cause and effect. It's one of the causes and effects of the universe. It's also one of the thousands of origins derived from the yin and yang wills of the universe. Supreme Crimson Fox's tone was serious. Most of the lives in the universe are unable to see these causes and effects. These causes and effects will accompany the souls of the lives. Even death won't change. Only through reincarnation will new threads of love slowly grow. And the threads of love on your body are densely packed. Most of them are very thick and strong. This means that your female friends are very strong. It's very difficult to cut off your previous emotions. Wang Feng looked at the Crimson Fox supremacy seriously. Impressive. Since it was related to the will of the universe, it meant that Wang Feng couldn't deny it even if he wanted to, because he still hadn't come into contact with the mysterious will of the universe. Do all the lives of the Crimson Divine Sky Fox race have this ability? Wang Feng was silent for a moment before asking. You know about the Crimson Divine Sky Fox? Supreme Crimson Fox looked at Wang Feng in shock. No wonder there's a thread of love on your body. It's obviously disturbed. To have this ability only. I see. It seemed to have understood something. Chapter 1637. Wang Feng waited in silence. Crimson God Sky Fox. Wang Feng had only seen it once in Dark Demon World, Qingyang Demon Region's Qi Qiu Ling. However, he could never forget it. Judging from his demeanor and aura, Wang Feng could tell at first glance that this Crimson Fox Venerable was a powerful being. That feeling of familiarity was unmistakable. It was the Crimson God Skyfox race. However, it was different from the figure that appeared in front of Wang Feng in Qi Qiuling. This Crimson Fox should be a member of this race, and the figure in Qi Qiuling should be a supreme being of the Crimson God Skyfox race, a universe-level life form. As for why this Crimson Fox would appear in this world, Wang Feng had no idea. He only remembered that the Crimson God Skyfox race hid their identity in Dark Demon World and stayed there for a period of time. During this period of time, some of their race members died and entered Soul World. So what is it? Wang Feng looked at it and asked. You have a thread of emotion on you, it's a scarlet navy blue, it's vague. This means that the owner of this thread is our Crimson God Skyfox race. The scarlet navy blue thread of emotion is one of the 8 great bitter emotions, boundless infatuation. As the color itself is scarlet blue, it's also known as boundless scarlet navy. Crimson Fox slowly said, this thread of emotion is something that only our Crimson God Skyfox race has. Because our Fox Saint has grasped a portion of the yin-yang willpower, the incomplete willpower, although it allows our race to have all sorts of powerful abilities, it's because the yin-yang willpower is too vast that even our Fox Saint can't fully grasp it. Hence, because of this, using the thread of emotion from the yin-yang willpower will cause our race to suffer a curse. A type of emotion curse. Crimson Fox's tone was slightly disappointed. Is it the boundless infatuation that you mentioned? Wang Feng frowned. What's so powerful about this emotion curse? The so-called boundless means that there's no end. Crimson Fox said, bearing this emotion curse, once our race develops feelings of love, they will only end up with a lifetime of infatuation without any results. There's no end. The strand of affection on you is faintly discernible. Clearly, the Fox Saint of my clan has discovered this matter and wants to cut off the strand of affection on you. But obviously, he didn't succeed. The Crimson Fox Supremacy's voice was filled with bitterness when he finished speaking. It was probably because it had a similar experience as well, and it looked very disappointed. Then your Crimson Divine Celestial Fox clan is really average. Wang Feng didn't really believe the other party's words. Just a curse and you're already so annoyed? As a universe-level life form, you can't even break the karma of a curse. You don't understand. Scarlet Fox Supremacy shook his head. This isn't pure karma, but a curse of the universe's will. This curse would not disappear even if the soul was reincarnated. The will of the universe was a supreme power that could control a part of the universe. Wanting to control this kind of power was extremely risky. Our love curse is pretty good. At least we can avoid it. Most of the races and life forms in the universe, once they are infected with the curse of the universe's will, most of them will be wiped out. The kind that can't even be found as a speck of dust, directly obliterated and disappeared from the universe. It's as if he never appeared. What he said made sense. I don't really believe in that. Wang Feng shook his head. This thread of love should be referring to Hu Laina, because she was the only one who became a Crimson Divine Celestial Fox. When I get out, I'll find the owner of this thread of love and tie her to my side. Wang Feng smiled. I do want to see what this love curse of yours will do. She won't die. Scarlet Fox Supremacy said. However, the karma of the universe will interfere with you and her. You won't be able to tie her to your side, unless you only have her in your heart, and you can become a universe-level life form, controlling the complete universe's will. The curse of the love thread will naturally disappear. However, the possibility of that happening is too low. Scarlet Fox Supremacy shook his head. Hence, the life forms of my clan normally wouldn't fall in love. I think, this thread of love on your body should be due to some sort of fate with the Crimson Divine Celestial Fox clan. Later on, it became a Crimson Divine Celestial Fox clan and bore this curse. As Scarlet Fox Supremacy said that, Wang Feng understood now. Back then, the Crimson Divine Celestial Fox in Chi Chio Ling had to erase the memories of the other women in his mind. Only Hu Liena's memories were left. Hence, you said that my love calamity is this? Wang Feng didn't intend to continue discussing this. No. Scarlet Fox Supremacy pointed at Wang Feng. It's another one. Ah. Wang Feng was stunned. Calamity, it's a calamity. Scarlet Fox Supremacy said. Counting your body, there are only 4 threads of love of various sizes that have truly condensed. Only 4. Wang Feng counted and thought. That's not right. Are there so few? Yes. Scarlet Fox Supremacy nodded. Normally warriors that have reached your level, like those demon gods, would have countless threads of love wrapped around them. However, most of them are extremely fine, illusory, and not condensed enough. Even for universe-level life forms with one cycle of life, they would usually have countless threads of love. Most of them would be able to wrap around their entire body. Even those that are truly condensed would have at least hundreds of them. Condensed threads of love belong to the type where both parties are strong and emotionally stable. However, there are some exceptions. Some warriors don't even have a single thread of love on them. However, those are extremely rare. There are very few of them in the universe. Oh, that means I'm not strong enough? Wang Feng coughed a few times. He felt that it was already quite a lot. There were a total of 6 threads. You only have 4 condensed threads of love on you. However, those half-illusory threads are still quite a few. Half-illusory threads of love signify that your emotions are unstable or there are other obstacles, amongst which a few emit extremely special energies. Their strength and status should be extremely high. Also, Scarlet Fox Supremacy frowned slightly. He had probably discovered something special. 2 of the threads are actually of the same origin. That means they should be family. Lu Yu glanced at Wang Feng in surprise. Wang Feng coughed a few times. You don't have to mind. Scarlet Fox Supremacy's tone was calm. I've seen 7 or 8 threads of love that are of the same origin. This isn't much. Wang Feng was stunned for a moment, and he couldn't help but curse in his heart. Your love tribulation happened because of one of them. Scarlet Fox Supremacy pointed at Wang Feng's neck. This thread of love looks very thick and bright red. However, it gave birth to a shadow and wrapped around your neck. This is the backlash of the thread of love. It means that you might die in her hands. This is the love calamity that I can see. Scarlet Fox Supremacy frowned slightly. Also, I can't solve it. I can't help you. Wang Feng pondered for a few seconds. If what Scarlet Fox Supremacy said was true, then, did it mean that he would die in the hands of Bibidan and Qianrenxue? This was obviously impossible. It was impossible for the 2 of them to be here, let alone kill him. Wang Feng didn't quite believe it. You don't quite believe it? Scarlet Fox Supremacy seemed to have guessed Wang Fengxin's thoughts. You think it's impossible? He laughed and said, in fact, when the love calamity happens, the person facing the calamity won't believe it. Because they won't believe that the person they love will kill them. That's why it's called a calamity. It's an inescapable calamity. This sentence made a bit of sense. In any case, to be able to see you, a Scarlet Divine Skyfox, can be considered to have solved the doubts that have been in my heart for a long time. Also, thank you for telling me this. It's just that. Wang Feng waved his hand and said, it's not that I don't believe in the love calamity, but I think that I can solve it. The same goes for the love curse that you mentioned. Scarlet Fox Supremacy smiled. He had heard a lot of such words. But so what? Could it change in the end? He looked at the sky and didn't speak for a long time. Speaking of which, I'm very curious. Why is a Scarlet Divine Skyfox in this place? Wang Feng finally brought the topic back to Scarlet Fox Supremacy. Because of the love curse. Scarlet Fox Supremacy spat out these 4 words. Wang Feng glanced at it again. I want to ask, can I see the thread of love on my body? Wang Feng suddenly asked. Yes, I can help you open the eye of love for a while. Scarlet Fox Supremacy came back to his senses. He formed a seal with both hands and pulled off a strand of hair on his face. His eyes emitted a red glow. The hair slowly disappeared in his hands. A strange light condensed at his fingertip. This is my clan's secret technique, Fate Heavenly Eye. It's not limited to the physical body or the soul. It can help you open the eye of love for a moment. You can briefly see some of the karma related to marriage, but it can only last for 15 minutes. If it lasts for a long time, you will also be cursed because you touch the karma related to the universe's will. 15 minutes is enough. Wang Feng nodded. Scarlet Fox Supremacy pointed the light at his fingertips at Wang Feng's eyes. In that instant, Wang Feng felt his eyes burning, and there was a strange feeling in his heart. When he opened his eyes again, the world had not changed. Then, his gaze fell on Scarlet Fox Supremacy. Just as Scarlet Fox Supremacy said, there was indeed a thread of love on its body. However, it was a pitch-black thread of love. It was very strange. Then, Wang Feng's gaze fell on himself. He did see 4 solid threads of love. Through these 4 threads of love, he knew who they represented. Other than that, there were several threads of love that were not solid but were still tightly wrapped around his body. The one mentioned by Scarlet Fox Supremacy was at his neck. It was a shadow created by a thread of love. It was very special. Primordial origin. After seeing the real situation, Wang Feng immediately used the primordial origin to deduce and analyze. Countless possibilities flashed through Wang Feng's mind. Finally, he locked onto one. He understood the consequences but did not know the cause. 15 minutes later, the burning sensation in his eyes disappeared. When he opened his eyes again, he could no longer see any threads of love. I see. Wang Feng closed his eyes. This was the power of the primordial origin. As long as he knew the information, he could deduce and analyze it. You seem to have used some kind of origin just now? Scarlet Fox Supremacy looked at Wang Feng in surprise. This kind of origin even affected the karma of love. The threads of love on your body have changed. How is this possible? It seemed to have seen an impossible change. Its expression changed like a roller coaster. From calm to shock to disbelief. What change? Wang Feng asked with interest. Scarlet Fox Supremacy was silent for a long time. It rubbed its eyes and said softly, "The illusory thread wrapped around your neck has broken off. This means there is a chance of survival." "Impossible, you are not an ordinary life form," Scarlet Fox Supremacy muttered. To change your love calamity, you need at least a universe-level life form to use the will of the universe to change it. But just now, in just 15 minutes, the love calamity changed. A chance of survival, this was the power to change the karma of the universe. Only a universe-level life form that controlled the will of the universe could do it. Even if he was just a soul, the difficulty of changing it was much lower. But just the words "will of the universe" set the threshold firmly. Alright, that's enough chatting. It's time to release that demon god. Wang Feng smiled. Scarlet Fox Supremacy nodded and looked at Wang Feng from head to toe. It could not help but think, as expected of the person chosen by Fox Saint, he was indeed extraordinary. She walked to the bottom of the tree. She imprinted her palm on the tree trunk. A huge light imprint gradually rose from the bottom of the tree and then cracked open. The purple ing soul suppression tree suddenly shrank and quickly split into 2. A huge demonic shadow squeezed out from the center of the crack. It was the demonic will of the demon god of Huang Hai. Compared to the previous 2 times, the demonic shadow was not as arrogant as before. Instead, it looked calm. It even sat cross-legged in the air and looked at Wang Feng indifferently. The look in his eyes was one of anticipation, as if he already knew what kind of fate he would face. It almost said, "Come, kill me if you have the guts. I don't care." "What, you're not going to struggle this time?" Wang Feng narrowed his eyes and looked at the demonic will of the demon god of Huang Hai. There were a total of 6 spots. This was already the 4th one. This meant that the demon god of Huang Hai only had 2 demonic wills left. He was getting closer and closer to death. "Human, since you can listen to the words of this scarlet deity Sky Fox and use the power of the origin to change the karma of the universe, why don't you tell me? Why don't you calculate how important this noble one's secret is to you?" The demon god of Huang Hai smiled and said, "I only have 3 demonic wills left. This one is probably gone as well. Only 2 demonic wills are left. How about we make a bet?" "What bet?" asked Wang Feng. "I bet that you won't kill my last demonic will," said the demon god of Huang Hai solemnly. Wang Feng did not even bother to look at him. He swung his axe at the demonic will. An earth-shattering axe light flashed. The demonic will turned into a huge amount of soul energy that was completely devoured by the primordial origin and injected into the Pangu axe. "What an idiot! Why should I bet with you?" Wang Feng shook his head. "You've devoured the souls of demon gods. The demon gods of the dark demon world are all very cunning and sinister," warned the scarlet deity Skyfox. "I've been guarding this place for a long time. This demon god of Huang Hai has been using all sorts of methods to bewitch me at almost every moment. There were a few times when I almost couldn't hold back. You're entangled with the emotions of my compatriots. It's best to be careful." Wang Feng nodded slightly. He had been paying attention to them all the time. Chapter 1638. His Pangu Axe martial soul had taken on a clearer form after absorbing the spiritual energy formed by this demonic thought. "I should leave." Wang Feng did not intend to stay. He glanced at the leopard behind him and said, "I'll have to trouble you to explain to this leopard. Although you can't change reality, I believe that with the strength of your Crimson God Celestial Fox clan, you should be able to change the threads of love slightly. At least, a life form of this leopard's level should not be a problem for you." "You?" The Crimson Fox Supreme Venerable was slightly stunned. "I roughly understand the karma of your marriage," Wang Feng said slowly. "That's why you said that you can't help that demonic beast. I know that you should be able to do it." When he used the primordial origin to calculate the threads of love in his body, he also touched upon the karma of marriage. Although the primordial origin could not calculate the higher level of the universe's will, it was enough for the origin to calculate. The Crimson Fox Supreme Venerable was similar to the Moon Elder in the mythical heavenly court. It could control the threads of love. However, the stronger a life form was, the heavier the karma it had to bear. For example, the Crimson Fox Supreme Venerable was unable to change the karma on its body because it could not bear the karma of changing it. It could instantly turn into ashes. However, for a small soul beast like the golden lightning leopard of the Douluo continent, it was not a problem for it to change the threads of love in its body. The Crimson Fox Supreme Venerable was hesitant to speak, but eventually nodded. "Actually, I understand that you don't want to change it because you are afraid of being affected by the karma of marriage, which will affect the curse of your clan," Wang Feng said. "In fact, new karma can only be created if you change it. The reason why you can't break the curse is because you are too afraid of the karma of the universe. But in reality, only newly created karma has the possibility of changing it. Moreover, you are already touching the karma of marriage by telling these souls what happened before they were born. Why do you have to deceive yourself and ignore karma?" After he finished speaking, Wang Feng bade farewell to the leopard and left. The Crimson Fox Supreme Venerable stood there in a daze. After a long time, it regained its senses. "Come forward." It looked at the golden lightning leopard. Junior Leopard walked up cautiously. He first looked into the distance and found that no one was returning. Then he said, Supreme Crimson Fox, can I stop asking? It's mainly because my fellow countrymen pulled me up here. Actually, I don't really care about what happened to me when I was alive. Red Fox Venerable Master gave Junior Leopard a strange look. It made a grabbing motion toward the Golden Lightning Leopard, as if it was trying to extract something. The Golden Lightning Leopard subconsciously took a step back, only to discover that the Crimson Fox Supreme's hand had not touched him. Don't be afraid. You were just an ordinary beast when you were alive, said the Crimson Fox Supremacy. You had a partner when you were alive, and she even gave birth to a nest of offspring. Because you died in battle, the humans in your world treated them very well. As it spoke, it retracted its hand and pulled out a leaf from the cracked purple tree in the distance. It placed it in its hand and gently blew on it. The scene appeared before his eyes. In the scene, there was a smaller silver lightning leopard resting in a nest built in the forest. From the neat nest and the 3 young golden lightning leopards quietly sucking on their mother's milk, it was not hard to see that they were living in a good environment. As if it sensed something, the silver lightning leopard suddenly opened its eyes and looked around. Seeing this scene, the golden lightning leopard's eyes turned sour. Look, they're actually living a good life. Your worries are unnecessary, said the Crimson Fox Supreme. Thank you, thank you. The golden lightning leopard prostrated on the ground and kowtowed to the Crimson Fox Supreme. After saying that, its soul energy trembled and seemed to become even more solid. The Crimson Fox Supreme waved its hand slightly, indicating that it could leave. The golden lightning leopard stood up and its expression gradually returned to normal. It took a deep breath and walked down the steps. The Crimson Fox Supreme looked at the sky, then at the countless souls below the steps and said, This is it. That's all for today. Come again tomorrow. His voice was like a breeze, blowing down, causing the souls below the steps to sigh and disperse. The Crimson Fox Supreme walked to the top of the purple tree and pondered for a long time. It thought of the golden lightning leopard's soul state when it left. It had been here for a long time and had a deep understanding of souls. It was a very special soul state, similar to the state of having no regrets and a sublimated soul state. That little leopard's life experience was not complicated. Even if it died, its only regret was that, after understanding this, it knew that it was dead. However, its partner and child did not suffer any calamity. Instead, they were protected by humans. It was enough for its soul to not have any regrets. The strands of love gradually disappear, and the karma is settled. This special soul state allows its soul to not be eroded by the water of the Nether River. It can easily enter the soul-cleansing sea. The Crimson Fox Supreme had been here for so many years, but the number of times it encountered such a situation could be counted on one hand. However, it did not expect that just by changing it slightly it could cause, at this moment. While it was thinking, countless leaves from the purple tree suddenly flew up on their own. The Crimson Fox Supreme hurriedly knelt on the ground and said respectfully, Emperor, he has already left. The leaves gradually rose and formed a blurry figure. How is it? The figure said indifferently. I don't understand. The Crimson Fox Supreme said in a low voice. He should have believed most of what I said about the love calamity. However what? However, I did not expect that he seemed to be able to change the karma of marriage. He found a trace of hope from an unsolvable calamity. I don't know whether this is good or bad. The Crimson Fox Supreme shook its head and said, Oh? He is now a remnant soul. He is so weak, but he still has this ability? The figure was surprised. Yes, that's why I did not expect to encounter such a situation. Moreover, I do not know how he found that trace of hope. What does he know? The Crimson Fox Supreme stood up. It's fine. This is a good thing. Originally, I only asked you to tell him that a calamity is coming. Now, he can find a trace of hope himself. No wonder he is the man that Nana can't forget. The leaves on the figure's face moved, revealing a few arcs. Also, the Crimson Fox Supreme hesitated for a while. Although he is a remnant soul and his soul seems weak, the weapon formed by his soul energy is very powerful. It can even kill the demonic thoughts of a demon god easily. Perhaps it can break this evil world. Humph, that's just a scheme. The figure sneered. Although you know a lot about this place, there are still many things that you do not understand. The reincarnation well here is very important. It is the source of this initial cycle calamity. Those old guys have been plotting for tens of thousands of years, waiting for this moment. The fate of a mere demon god of desolate ocean has been determined long ago. Chapter 1639. Then he, Supreme Red Fox said in a low voice. Since he managed to find a chance of survival, your mission is considered completed. Find a chance to return to the clan. There's no need to waste time here. The person you're waiting for has already reincarnated. Haven't you noticed that the love thread on your body has turned black? Supreme Red Fox nodded slightly at the nonchalant voice. However, it continued. Since he's already reincarnated, what's the point of me returning? Your Majesty, forgive me for being so bold. I want to stay here and spend the rest of my life ending the karma of marriage that I've seen and heard. Interesting. That's not what you thought before. Did that human say something to you? Why are you so easily convinced by him? The eyes of the figure formed by leaves trembled slightly and narrowed. You're a great domain venerable of the Red Divine Fox clan. Do you want to save the souls of other clans in such a sinister world? When did you become so kind? I just think that since he's already reincarnated, I'll just continue to suffer from the love curse if I return to the clan. Even if I find his reincarnation, the love curse will still exist. Then what's the point of me returning to the clan? Supreme Red Fox said. I'd rather stay here to entertain my beasts. Ha ha ha. Up to you, the figure said lightly. Since you don't plan to return, keep an eye on that human. If he's really gone, Nana will be heartbroken. Your Majesty, you wanted to cut off the love thread on him, right? Supreme Red Fox suddenly asked. That's right. The figure nodded. But if I cut off the love thread directly, it'll have a big impact on Nana. So, I changed my strategy. I cut off all the other love threads. If I'm not wrong, he should have forgotten about the other females in his heart. He only has Nana in his heart. At this point, the figure stopped abruptly. It seemed that there was a blind spot. Wait, you said that he believed most of what you said about the love tribulation? What do you mean? Why would he believe in the love tribulation? He only has Nana as his love thread. Why should he believe in love? The figure stared at Crimson Fox Supremacy. I only asked you to remind him that he will encounter a great calamity in this world. Exalted Crimson Fox sighed and said, the threads of affection on his body haven't disappeared, not even a single one. There are quite a lot of them. Unsurprisingly, he hadn't forgotten about the other partners in his heart. Moreover, I really did discover a love tribulation from him. In fact, the great calamity you mentioned might very well be impossible. Leaves flew all over the sky. His tone was full of shock. But what I saw was real. Exalted Scarlet Fox said slowly, Your Majesty, you've miscalculated. Perhaps he had already expected such an encounter, so he had made preparations in advance. This human was full of secrets. You should know something. It's the Origin Wheel Divine ability. The figure gritted his teeth. The Crimson Fox Supremacy glanced at the fluttering leaves in surprise. This fellow actually cultivated the Origin Wheel Divine ability. I only cut off the threads of affection on the clone that was derived from his Origin Wheel Divine ability. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to hide from me. Damn it. This human, to think that I was kind enough to help him. Then what should we do now? Exalted Scarlet Fox Supremacy looked at the sky with an expression that said it had nothing to do with him. Let's see if he can survive this tribulation first. I'm so angry. No, I have to go back and reprimand Nana. Such a cunning human. No wonder this girl is so infatuated with him. Let's go, let's go. If his soul disappears, remember to tell me as soon as possible. Okay. The leaves fell and the dust settled. How interesting. Exalted Scarlet Fox Supremacy seemed to have thought of something. He wanted to laugh, but he became serious again and warned himself not to laugh. At this moment, Wang Feng left the Crimson Fox Supremacy's position and continued to move to the next position. However, after walking for a distance, suddenly, a few souls appeared in front of him and blocked his path. The one leading them was the Great Flame Golden Tiger Emperor that cut the queue earlier. According to the Golden Lightning Leopard, this beast spirit was one of the 3 overlords in this area. It was a god-level existence when it was alive. There was no such beast god in Douluo. Then, it could only be a god from another world. Why? Are you looking for trouble? Wang Feng cast a sidelong glance at these guys with solid souls and strong auras. No. The Great Flame Golden Tiger Emperor, who was the leader, shook his head. Then why are you blocking my path? Wang Feng asked. I saw it, the Great Flame Golden Tiger Emperor said. What did you see? Wang Feng was slightly taken aback. The axe light on the island and the monstrous demonic shadow of the demon god were killed by you. The Great Flame Golden Tiger Emperor coughed a few times. I saw it clearly. And then? Wang Feng nodded. Do you want to be hit by the axe too? Senior, you misunderstood me, the Great Flame Golden Tiger Emperor said in a serious tone. I came here to ask you to do me a favor. I don't have time. Wang Feng waved his hand. If you don't have anything to say, get out of my way. Senior, if you help me with this, I'll definitely repay you in my next life, the Great Flame Golden Tiger Emperor pleaded. I don't care. Also, this condition of repayment is too outdated. I'm not interested. Senior, why are you willing to help that weak little leopard for free, but you won't help us even once? The Great Flame Golden Tiger Emperor said with a disappointed expression. Are only the weak worthy of being helped? Can't a powerhouse like me be helped? What kind of logic is this? I'm familiar with him. We come from the same world. We are from the same hometown, so I'm interested in helping him, Wang Feng said casually. As for you, I'm not familiar with you. Why should I help you? We'll be familiar with each other if I help you a little, the Great Flame Golden Tiger Emperor said shamelessly. Wang Feng looked at him strangely. You little tiger, you were a god when you were alive. How could you die without any dignity? You're begging me for help, but I'm not helping. That's enough. Can't you leave yourself some dignity? Yes, I'm already dead. Why should I care about dignity? Senior, don't you think so? The Great Flame Golden Tiger Emperor said disapprovingly. That made sense. What if I refuse to help you? Wang Feng said. Then I have no choice but to follow you. Senior, I'm guessing that you will go somewhere near Luo Yun Island. That place is also suppressing the devil soul of a devil god. The Great Flame Golden Tiger Emperor thought for a while and said, The humans of Luo Yun Island worship martial arts. Their soul battle chi soars to the sky, and they are all warlike. Coincidentally, I had killed many of these martial artists when I was alive. They hated me very much because before the invasion of the Dark Devil world, I was the one who had led the beast race to invade their world. Unfortunately, the Dark Devil world had appeared midway and destroyed us and the humans. However, I should be in the top 3 of the list of hatred in the hearts of these humans. If they see me, they will definitely think that you are with me. At that time, you will be in trouble. Then I'll kill you now. Wang Feng took out the Pangu axe and said, This way, there won't be any trouble. Ha ha. Senior, do you think I'm that stupid? Since I've told you about this, I will definitely take precautions. The great flame golden tiger emperor smiled confidently. Before I came, I already sent my demonic beasts to Luo Yun Island. I also told them that my master, you, will be going to Luo Yun Island and ask these human souls to get out of Luo Yun Island as soon as possible. Otherwise, I will let their souls fade away. In this way, even if you go to Luo Yun Island, there will be a lot of trouble. There is no way to explain it. I'm sorry, Senior. In order to get you to help me, I can only use such a despicable method. I will first tie you to me. As long as you help me, I can guarantee that you will not have any trouble when you go to Luo Yun Island. The great flame golden tiger emperor looked at Wang Feng with a serious face. It's okay. I don't care. Wang Feng still waved his hand. Any trouble in front of me is just a matter of my axe. The great flame golden tiger emperor was slightly stunned. He looked at Wang Feng in confusion. He felt that the other party was like an iron plate without any gap. Even the air could not get through. Wang Feng patted the great flame golden tiger emperor's shoulder and walked over leisurely. The great flame golden tiger emperor clenched his tiger paws and followed. He did not believe it. Chapter 1640. The sea in the east was getting further and further away from the Nether River waterfall. However, there seemed to be no end to it. The gradually changing sky turned from blue to gray as Wang Feng moved forward. The sea was still calm without any wave. This scene gave people the feeling that it was dead and still. Of course, Wang Feng was used to this scene and was not surprised. About a day later, waves suddenly appeared on the surface of the sea. This surprised Wang Feng. It also made him realize that he should be arriving soon. As Wang Feng expected, when the waves on the sea became bigger and bigger, a group of small islands that looked like mountains appeared in Wang Feng's sight. The center of the waves came from the group of small islands. It seemed that there was some kind of vibration on one of the small islands, causing circles of waves to spread out infinitely. Very rich soul energy. Wang Feng looked into the distance. The islands in the distance were the places with the richest soul energy among the few places he had seen. This was actually quite abnormal because the area outside the Nether River waterfall was very thin. Even if there were a few places with rich soul energy, it would not be here. Stop! Before he got close, he saw several soul shadows coming over on the wave. At the same time, there was a stern shout. Wang Feng paused and looked at the people who came. He sensed a rather powerful blood qi and soul will. This kind of powerful blood qi and soul will must be from a person who had extremely powerful physical strength and will when they were alive. Even after they died, their souls were stained with some powerful blood qi and soul will. Of course, this kind of strength was still much inferior to those soul demons. However, as a human soul, it was already very good. The great flaming golden emperor tiger, who had been coming up behind, also stopped. It seemed that it was time to witness it. It knew that these martial artists were very stubborn. Once they decided on something, they would not change their minds easily. In front of him, there were 3 tall and imposing human souls coming over on the waves. It was difficult to feel this kind of aura from the form of a soul. It was obviously different from those extraordinary immortal cultivators. No souls are welcome here. Please go back. The man in the lead stepped forward and looked at Wang Feng coldly. The hostility in his eyes was extremely strong. Wang Feng thought for a few seconds and looked at the island in the distance. He had already sensed the demonic will of the demonic god of desolation. Why not? Wang Feng asked. No soul can enter? Wang Feng frowned. Was he that antisocial? Could it be because of the rich soul energy in this place? Those who are not of the same race as us must have different intentions. Since you've joined these demon beasts, you're no different from those soul demons in our eyes. The man in the lead closed his eyes. You're already dead. What's the point of fussing over this? Wang Feng could not help but ask curiously, "They're just souls. Be it humans or beasts, all of you were chased here for the sole purpose of entering the reincarnation, well, to be reincarnated. To put it bluntly, you are all fodder in the eyes of those soul demons. You should have settled your grudges before you died. Now that you can't be reincarnated, what's the point of haggling over these things? My body may be dead, but my will remains." The man shook his head. "You don't understand. You're not a warrior from our world, so you won't understand the hatred between our world and these demonic beasts. Anyway, since you're a human, you can leave." Wang Feng couldn't refute that. It was true that the humans of each world had different encounters. He couldn't empathize with them. "Yes, master, let's leave." The great flame golden tiger emperor stepped forward and said respectfully, "These humans don't know what's good for them. You want to help them subdue the demon god on Saint Martial Island and give them peace. Since they don't know what's good for them, let's not meddle in their business." Wang Feng gave the tiger a sidelong glance. "Great flame golden tiger emperor," the man in the lead shouted sternly, "we've already seen through your insignificant trick. This human isn't your master at all. He has nothing to do with you. If you had a master, you would have sent him over. How could we not know? Although we don't know why you're acting like this in front of him, there's no way we'll let you in. I advise you to give up as soon as possible." Wang Feng looked at the man in surprise. "Since you've seen through my insignificant tricks, you should know that he has nothing to do with me." Wang Feng asked curiously, "Why don't you let me in?" "Humph, since the great flame golden tiger emperor is acting like this, it's obvious that he wants to build a relationship with you. To us, humans who are related to demonic beasts aren't good." The man shook his head and said, "Besides, I've said that souls that aren't from our clan can't enter." Wang Feng looked back at the great flame golden tiger emperor and said, "Is the thing you want me to help you get on the island?" The great flame golden tiger emperor was stunned. It seemed that he didn't expect Wang Feng to see through it so quickly. "That's why you're using this method. You seem to want to get on the same side as me, but in fact, whether I refuse you or not, as long as you follow me and instigate these human souls to fight, you can take the opportunity to get on the island." Wang Feng continued, "Not a bad method. It's a smart one. Senior, you're really sharp. I can't even hide this from you." The great flame golden tiger emperor said bluntly, "Yes, I do want to get on the island. However, with my strength, they'll definitely stop me. Senior, you have to get on the island. You took that little leopard and tried all means to get on our island. It's not to see Red Fox Supreme, but for that demon god. Since you're here, you'll definitely try your best to get on the island." The great flame golden tiger emperor's analysis was right. Wang Feng nodded. Although this guy had only met him once in the team at the foot of the mountain, he knew that he could use this method. However, to be able to analyze all of this and make use of the situation, he still had some demeanor of a leader. "Aren't you afraid that I'll kill you directly?" Wang Feng asked. "I'm afraid, but as long as you're not one of these humans." The great flame golden tiger emperor pointed at the man and said, "You and I have no enmity. You won't kill me. Besides, if you're a cruel and merciless person, you wouldn't have used the back of the axe to send the three-headed dragon snake flying. Instead, you would have used the blade of the axe to kill it." Clap, clap, clap. Wang Feng applauded. The great flame golden tiger emperor was very observant. He did use the back of the axe to send the three-headed dragon snake that had bullied the golden lightning leopard flying. He didn't kill it directly. He was a beast. "Why did you come to the island?" Wang Feng asked. "Because of love," the great flame golden tiger emperor said. Wang Feng was speechless. "Shameless beast." At this time, the man said angrily, "Who loves you? You're a shameless beast. How can you be a beast emperor? You're shameless. Our Wu god showed mercy in the past because he didn't want those beasts to go crazy after you died. That's why he spared your life. You're still thinking too highly of yourself. How ridiculous! What do you know? The great flame golden tiger emperor crossed his arms and looked down at the man in front of him. His tiger face was full of contempt. You said that Senior isn't a human from your world and doesn't understand the enmity between you and us beasts. You're not Yu Wu God and you're not me either. How do you know how she and I feel? You humans always have one set of standards for others and another set of standards for yourself. The great flame golden tiger emperor smiled disdainfully. Wang Feng nodded. Double standards were inseparable from any world. Chapter 1641. I don't understand? The man said angrily. No soul is allowed to enter the Saint Martial Island. This order was given by Martial God Yu. You say I don't understand? Martial God Yu has made it so obvious, and you say I, Wu Juyun, don't understand? Child, do you have a wife? The great flame golden tiger emperor asked. No. It's none of your business. The man was stunned at first, then he said coldly. Look, you really don't have one. The great flame golden tiger emperor sneered. She doesn't let me enter the island, so it means I'm not in her heart? If you have the ability, ask her to come out and see me. You're really inexperienced. As a man, you don't even understand a woman's mind. Serves him right for not having a wife. He's still a bachelor even after he dies. The great flame golden tiger emperor's words were sharp. This made Wang Feng admire him a little. He didn't expect this beast emperor to have a relationship with a human. TSK, as expected, in any world, the love between a human and a beast exists. Seeing a beast, thinking of the beast, Wang Feng couldn't help but think of Qing Qing and the others. He didn't know how the situation in the Douluo world was now. However, judging from the situation of the little leopard, it should be good. That's enough. Wang Feng waved his hand. After understanding the whole story, Wang Feng didn't plan to continue. The great flame golden tiger emperor was delighted, knowing that this senior was going to directly take action. Then, he heard Wang Feng say, You can let me in. Just let me go in alone. As for this tiger, since the Yu Wu god on your island doesn't want him to go in, why don't you let him in? But I'm still a human, and we're all the same. It shouldn't be a problem for you to let me in, right? The great flame golden tiger emperor was speechless. No! The man named Wu Juyun said decisively. Seeing this, Wang Feng was too lazy to say anything more, and the Pangu axe appeared in his hand. Without saying a word, he shook the back of the axe lightly. In an instant, the sea water surged, and a huge force shook the space from the back of the axe, condensing into a powerful force that directly sent the two companions beside the man flying. Good, good, good. The great flame golden tiger emperor behind him was overjoyed. I've been unhappy with these humans for a long time. Senior's demeanor is really the model of our generation. You. Wang Feng turned around and looked at the great flame golden tiger emperor. Stay here, you're not allowed to enter. Otherwise, Wang Feng weighed the Pangu axe in his hand. The threat was obvious. The great flame golden tiger emperor's face stiffened. Senior, you don't have to go that far, right? Why not? Said Wang Feng. If Martial God Yu didn't let you in, why would you go in? If you want to go in, then fight your way in. Borrowing my strength to enter, what kind of hero are you? If I were Martial God Yu, I would be disappointed in you. She might be waiting for you to fight your way in to see her. What's the meaning of following me in with such a method? The great flame golden tiger emperor's huge body suddenly shook, as if he had just woken up from a dream. He looked at Wang Feng. Senior, you're really amazing. I understand now. It suddenly realized. As long as you understand. Wang Feng continued flying forward. It was just that the great flame golden tiger emperor wanted to use him to enter the island. Wang Feng was not so easy to deal with. Naturally, he would not fulfill his wish. After the interlude, Wang Feng arrived at the center of the archipelago in a short while. However, the archipelago was heavily guarded. Along the way, Wang Feng had already defeated several groups of human souls like Wu Juyun. Although these human souls were powerful, their actual combat strength was not very strong. They were good at martial arts and physical strength, but were not very good at soul and spirit. Now that their physical bodies had been destroyed, only their souls were left, and their combat strength was very low. They were much weaker than the immortal cultivators. The immortal cultivators on Yunlai Island were more powerful after all. Of course, most of them were like that, but a small number of them were very good at soul attack. Moreover, because of the rich soul energy in this place, it meant that their souls could survive longer. The Saint Martial Island was where one of the demonic thoughts of the demon god of desolation was suppressed. The island was not very high. As far as the eye could see, there was only one statue on the island, which was very eye-catching. That's a statue that originally existed on this island. It's been there since we came here. At this moment, a voice sounded from afar. Above the island, a total of 5 figures flew down from the sky. The person who spoke was a woman. She looked ordinary, but there was an indescribable elegance and charm about her. In her soul form, her hair was tied up with a purple phoenix feather, which was very eye-catching. The souls of these 5 figures were very special. Their souls were stained with blood, and it was not an exaggeration to say that they were very powerful. In the depths of their souls, there was a round core the size of a millstone, which emitted a powerful soul energy. "You are Yu Wuxian?" Wang Feng looked at the woman. Among the 5 people, this woman was obviously the leader. Her soul energy was also the strongest. "Are you here for that statue?" She nodded slightly, her voice calm. "That's right." Wang Feng nodded. The statue suppressed the demonic thoughts of the demon god of desolation. "We can't let you destroy this statue," Yu Wuxian said slowly. She knew why Wang Feng was here. "Oh? You should understand, right?" Wang Feng looked at them in surprise. "This statue suppresses the demonic thoughts of a demon god. It is a ticking time bomb for you. I have to destroy this statue and take it away." "You don't want me to destroy it? Are you worried that I can't do it?" Would they be in the same situation as the cultivators on Cloud Coming Island? Yu Wuxian shook her head and said, "Do you know why we don't let other humans in? Why? When we first came to this island, we found that the soul energy here was denser than other places. We thought it would help our souls survive longer, so we settled down here," Yu Wuxian said in a low voice. "But we didn't expect things to be as simple as we thought. As you said, the statue does suppress the demonic thoughts of a demon god. We won't forget the demon god of Dark Demon World. At first, we thought that since we were suppressed, we just had to keep an eye on it. Also, as time went by, the demonic thoughts inside the statue grew weaker. Have you noticed?" She paused for a moment. Wang Feng nodded. This demonic thoughts was much weaker than the ones before. It was strange. His demonic thoughts are getting weaker. "Of course we're happy," Yu Wuxian continued. "Not long ago, we estimated that with the strength of the 5 of us, we would enter the statue and destroy the demonic thoughts. Unfortunately, at this time, the human souls on our island are disappearing in large batches. It turns out that the demon god forcibly weakened his own soul energy. He almost burned his own demonic thoughts. For this reason, he became much weaker. However, the burning soul energy spread to the island and made the island rich in soul energy. Our souls were gradually filled with the soul energy we absorbed. However, we didn't expect him to use a powerful evil art on the soul energy. His demonic thoughts were connected to the souls of all the humans who absorbed the soul energy. Do you know what this means?" Yu Wuxian looked at Wang Feng. "I don't know if you can destroy the demonic thoughts, but even if you can, the island will be destroyed. All the human souls on our island will quickly disappear. That's why we stopped outsiders from entering this island. We didn't want them to absorb the soul energy here and be controlled by it. The humans in other places don't know this secret either. But we can't let you destroy the demonic thoughts, because our souls will all disappear. Wang Feng was silent for a long time after hearing this, then slowly said, "What a demon god of desolate sea." You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.